Chapter 616. Seeing that Jiao Changtian also thought highly of Yi Chen, a lot of people looked at him with admiration. But this kind of thing was not going to happen. Yi Chen would only be appreciated if he had the power. The number 1 warrior just below the top 5 young warriors was not an easy title. As for Xie Beiting, no one doubted him even more. He had been the number 1 blade master in the continent for decades, and his power could only be described as immeasurable. Being in the top 5 of the master-level warrior ranking would be a piece of cake for him. But no one knew who else would be able to make it into the top 5. Time is running out. Du Guju quietly tightened his fists. He had never wanted to increase his power as much as he did before. They were all young people, and since they were all young people, they would definitely be young and energetic. How could they be indifferent to fame and fortune? Those who could would have already lost their passion. Wu. Taking a deep breath, Du Guju looked determined. He looked in the direction where Yi Chen was and said with a loud voice, "Yi Chen, I will challenge you here in 1 year. But of course, if you do not come, I will have nothing to say." Hey! Du Guju is going to challenge Yi Chen in 1 year. Judging from the current situation, although Du Guju and Yi Chen are not as powerful as the top 5 young warriors, they are getting closer. Not many people have been able to do this in the past few years, including Lan Xieching and Lin Tian, who have the highest chance of becoming the top 5 young warriors. They are still far away from the top 5 young warriors. It seems like Du Guju is trying to use the 1-year deadline to pressure himself and force himself to improve even faster. If he could beat Yi Chen, then he would be even more powerful. The battle between the 2 top martial geniuses. It would not be that much weaker than the top 5 young warriors. No, I think it might be even more interesting than the battle between the top 5 young warriors, because a lot of people would like to know how much they would have improved in 1 year. Don't forget that they had only reached the Sea of Souls realm for 1 or 2 years, and they had already improved so much. If they were given another year, even if they were not as powerful as the top 5 young warriors, they would be very close. They might even be able to compete with the top 5 young warriors. Now that you mention it, it's possible. Hearing that Du Guju wanted to challenge Yi Chen in a year's time, the crowd's blood that had just calmed down started to boil again. Soon after, countless pairs of eyes looked at Yi Chen to see how he would respond. Yi Chen simply said, "I will come." Du Guju couldn't be underestimated. Some people were born to become stronger when encountering strong opponents. The strength of his opponent would only promote his improvement. Yi Chen really wanted to know if Du Guju could fight against him. If he could, then his future opponent would most likely be Du Guju. Yi Chen agreed. How decisive. Of course. They are both monstrous geniuses. If Yi Chen didn't agree, wouldn't he be afraid of Du Guju? He's afraid that Du Guju will surpass him. Everyone discussed animatedly. All of a sudden, a person walked out of the crowd. It was indeed one of the previous master-level blade artists, Shen Qianlang. Lin Chaonan saw Shen Qianlang walk out, so he said to Xie Beiting, "It seems like Brother Shen could not wait anymore. This time's master-level warrior ranking will be a great opportunity." Xie Beiting said, "All right. Compared to Bai Wuxue and Xie Hozuan, I would like to know how powerful Xiao Chuhe is." Just as Xie Beiting finished his sentence, Shen Qianlang flew to the center of the lake and said with a loud voice, "Xiao Chuhe, let's use this opportunity to battle it out." 2 years ago, he had lost to Xiao Chuhe and lost the title of being one of the top 3 master-level blade artists, while Xiao Chuhe had become the youngest master-level blade artist. Today, he was not only going to take back the title that he once had, but also prove to the world that he, Shen Qianlang, would not fall just like this. Even if his opponent was one of the top 5 young warriors, so what? Xiao Chuhe walked out step by step. "All right, my blade intent is at its peak. Since you have come out to challenge me, I will give you a chance." The battle between Bai Wuxue and Xie Hozuan had already ignited Xiao Chuhe's battle intent and blade intent. Shen Qianlang's challenge was exactly what he wanted. Achem. These two want to battle as well. Jiao Changtian was interested. He knew that the top 5 young warriors were all important targets. Let's do it. Xiao Chuhe stood on top of the lake, holding the blade scabbard in his left hand. Woo! 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 Shen Qianlang slowly breathed in and out, adjusting his breathing. Xiao Chuhe was definitely the fastest blade artist he had ever seen. He did not have the confidence to win, but he thought that if he did not challenge him now, he would not have the chance in the future. Therefore, he had to fight. Wave. Combined with the breathing technique, Shen Qianlang adjusted his mental state to its peak. His excitement was accompanied by calmness, and his calmness contained a destructive explosive power. He was like a boundless ocean, each wave taller than the last, instilling fear in people's hearts. Chin. Taking out his blade, the lake water under Shen Qianlang's feet suddenly expanded, turning into a huge wave that carried him toward Xiao Chuhe, who was not far away. Soon, a blade light shone, and the entire Nine-Dragon Lake turned violent, increasing the pressure on Xiao Chuhe. Break. The lake water under Xiao Chuhe's feet did not change at all. He groaned and took out his long blade as well. Holding it with both of his hands, he threw out a blade attack. Swoosh. The huge wave was sliced open, and Shen Qianlang's blade light was shattered. Dang! 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 Both of them were top blade artists. Although the battle scene was not as amazing as by Wuxue and Xie Hozuan's, each blade attack was deadly, giving people a very thrilling feeling. Shen Qianlang was indeed one of the top 3 blade artists. His blade aura was so powerful that it was almost unimaginable. Each blade attack was like a huge wave in the ocean. After throwing out dozens of blade attacks in a row, the sky had changed color, and the waves were endless. If normal blade artists were to battle with him, they would be completely suppressed in terms of aura alone, because Shen Qianlang, who was using all of his power, gave people the feeling that he was an ocean that was unpredictable. If Shen Qianlang was the ocean, then Xiao Chuhe would be a blade artist training in the ocean. The blade in his hand was not that fast, but it was not that amazing either. But, with one blade attack, any incoming wave would be sliced in half without any hesitation. Condensing the blade power without letting it out. Such a horrifying blade artist. Gradually, Yi Chen could feel how horrifying Xiao Chuhe was. If Bai Wuxue was like the clouds, and Xie Hozuan was like the thunder, then Xiao Chuhe was like the earth, carrying everything in its way. It was extremely heavy, and if one wanted to beat a blade artist like this, they would have to be way more powerful than him. Otherwise, there would be no way to beat him in one go. Ride the wind and wave. Shen Qianlang knew that it would not be good for him if it continued. So, he carried the wind and wave as his whole body shot into the air and threw out a blade attack. This blade attack was thrown out with the momentum, and it was Shen Qianlang's most powerful blade attack. Ocean-splitting blade. Xiao Chuhe was still standing in the area where he was standing. Facing Shen Qianlang's most powerful blade attack, he did not back out or try to avoid it. He threw out one blade attack after another, as if it were nothing more than waves. As long as it was a wave, there would be nothing that he could not cut in half. Swoosh! Shen Qianlang's most powerful blade attack disappeared completely. On the surface of the Nine-Dragon Lake, a blade mark that extended all the way to the edge appeared. The blade mark was like a natural moat, instantly splitting the surface of the lake in half. Pooh! Puking out a mouthful of blood, Shen Qianlang was blown backward as a blade mark appeared on his chest. Although he had the protection of his armor, so that blade attack did not land on his body directly, the extremely dense blade power had already gone through the armor and wounded his internal organs. He did not feel that much pain, but instead a relief. Because from now on, he would not have to challenge Xiao Chuhe anymore, and he would not have to carry the pressure of losing to him anymore. What a powerful ocean-splitting blade attack! Shen Qianlang did not even have a chance to fight back. Xie Beiting shook his head. This battle was not that exciting, and it was not even that intense. If one had to talk about intense battles, then Shen Qianlang would be the most intense. Unfortunately, his opponent was Xiao Chuhe, who was like an endless land. Shen Qianlang's blade art seemed to be very aggressive, but it would not be able to cover the whole land all of a sudden. From the beginning to the end, Shen Qianlang did not even have a chance to fight back. He was forced into Xiao Chuhe's rhythm. Seeing this kind of battle, even Xie Beiting could not help but feel a chill run down his spine. He thought that if they were at the same power level, he would only have 30 to 40% chance of beating Xiao Chuhe. Ocean-splitting blade Xiao Chuhe. Impressive. Since Jiao Changtian was able to become a master of the pavilion, he had been able to observe the power of all the master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors in the world. So, he was naturally not weak himself. As a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior himself, he could tell that Shen Qianlang was very powerful. Although he might not be able to make it into the top 20, he would definitely be able to make it into the top 25. If it were someone else, then the battle would be even more intense. But, his opponent was Xiao Chuhe, and there was not even a single chance for him to fight back. Xiao Chuhe, you can also make it into the top 15 of the master-level warrior ranking, Jiao Changtian announced. Everyone did not have any doubts about what Jiao Changtian had announced, so they started to discuss quietly. This battle is so normal, but why am I having goosebumps all over my body? Me too. Don't you guys feel it? Shen Qianlang is like a bug in a spider's web. No matter how hard he tries to struggle, he will still end up in the spider's mouth. Someone expressed the most appropriate opinion. After beating Shen Qianlang, Xiao Chuhe's expression did not change at all as he turned to look at Lu Xiaoyu, who had a cold expression on his face. Lu Xiaoyu, in 1 year, I will challenge you. Sure. Lu Xiaoyu said lightly. Another battle in 1 year. Everyone got excited. Adding Du Guju and Yi Chen, there would be 2 intense battles in 1 year. So, no matter what, they would have to come and watch the battles in 1 year. After the battle between Shen Qianlang and Xiao Chuhe had ended, the 9-Dragon Lake quieted down. Let's go. Yi Chen knew that there would not be any more battles, and even if there were, it would only be some small warriors. More and more people started to leave the place. Just like that, the 9-Dragon Lake, which had been quite lively for the past couple of days, had finally come to an end. But, although it had ended, everything that had happened in the past couple of days would definitely be spread around the Sky Marshal region for a long time, becoming the topic of everyone's gossip. Regarding the master-level warrior ranking, it would naturally be spread around the world through everyone's mouths, bringing up a huge storm. Chapter 617. The clouds in the sky rolled back and forth, and a flying puppet shaped like a demonic bird spread its wings and flew away, galloping above the boundless sea of clouds. The puppet's back was wide and flat, enough to hold 6 or 7 people. Of course, there were only Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng on it at the moment. Yi Chen's arms were wrapped around Murong Qingcheng, her sweet body fragrance filling his breath. The two had already become intimate in the mysterious dark city. Apart from the matter between a man and a woman, they had done everything. At this moment, Murong Qingcheng's face was not covered by a black veil, presenting her beautiful face in front of Yi Chen's eyes. Her eyebrows were like jade feathers, and her skin was like sheep fat. Her nose was high, and her eyes were like stars. Her lips were even redder than normal people, and her silky black hair flowed down from her ears. A few strands floated at the tip of Yi Chen's nose, filling his nose with a fragrance. Seeing Yi Chen staring at her, Murong Qingcheng's cheeks blushed a little. Drunk on a beauty's lap, awake with a killing sword. Feeling the soft and graceful body in his arms, a phrase naturally appeared in Yi Chen's mind. Screech. While the two were being intimate, a 4-clawed demonic bird suddenly pounced over. This demonic bird was several times bigger than Yi Chen's flying puppet. Its eyes were like 2 searchlights, and its whole body was shrouded in a scarlet red and black aura, looking extremely ferocious. The 4-clawed demonic bird was fond of flesh and blood, especially those with powerful bodies. Yi Chen had already cultivated a 3rd-step spirit body, so his body's strength was needless to say. On the other hand, Murong Qingcheng's demonic body was even higher than Yi Chen's in terms of life force, which made the 4-clawed demonic bird's heart itch. Seeing that neither Yi Chen nor Murong Qingcheng had reached late Sea of Soul realm, the 4-clawed demonic bird screeched again and pounced toward the two, its 4 claws tearing the sky apart. Clang! Holding Murong Qingcheng in his left hand, Yi Chen pulled out his gold sword and slashed. Poochie! A huge bird head flew up. The corpse of the 4-clawed demon bird was decapitated, falling far behind the flying puppets and falling into the sea of clouds. 4-clawed demonic birds usually live in the northern regions, with the desolate fire domain being the most common. It seems like we're about to reach the desolate fire domain, Murong Qingcheng said. After leaving Nine Dragon Lake, the two of them did not stop to rest. They headed straight for the Northern Wastelands fire region. After all, the time limit for the shadowless poison to flare up was getting closer. Sheathing the gold sword, Yi Chen released his soul force and extended it towards the Sea of Clouds. He then said, "We have reached the Iron Feather River." The desolate fire region was right in front of the Iron Feather River. On the banks of the Iron Feather River, a black-robed man and a rainbow-robed old man stood on a reef. Voila! The headless bird's corpse fell into the Iron Feather River and splashed water everywhere. Killing my four-clawed bird with one sword strike. This is not something an ordinary person can do. The rainbow-robed old man did not have a demonic beast body, but his pupils were vertical, flickering with a strange five-colored radiance. The black-robed man said gloomily, "This kid is improving extremely fast. If he is given some time, I'm afraid no one under Life and Death Realm will be able to keep him in check. If we want to obtain the Undying Body secret art, this is our only chance. If we miss this chance, we can forget about it. Perhaps we can sell the information to someone else." The black-robed man was Yin Demon Master. Yi Chen's name had spread throughout the Sky Marshal region, becoming the number one under the top 5 young tycoons. Yin Demon Master had naturally heard of him. Therefore, on the day of the battle between Bai Wuxue and Xia Hozuan, he had gone as well. As he had expected, Yi Chen was indeed there. However, Yi Chen's strength had astonished him. Although Yin Demon Master believed that he was not inferior to Lin Tian and Lan Xiecheng, he did not have the confidence to contend against Yi Chen. Left with no other choice, Yin Demon Master decided not to keep this to himself, so he contacted his old friend, Sky Hunter Master. Sky Hunter Master's strength was even higher than Yin Demon Master's. He had cultivated a powerful secret art that only demonic beasts could cultivate, causing the Jin Yuan in his body to have a demonic aura. He was innately close to demonic beasts, and taming them was even easier than Thunder Region's beast-controlling school. The four-clawed demonic bird that had just died was only a relatively weak 10th-grade demonic beast in his beast token. It was not enough to make him feel bad. High in the air, I can't bring out my advantage to the limit. Let him live a little longer. The rainbow-robed old man indifferently said. Desolate Fire Region was in the western part of Northern Region. There were many mountain ranges in the west, and Barbaric Mountain Range traversed 3 great regions. It was the largest mountain range in Northern Region. Even on True Spirit Continent, it would be one of the best. Arriving at the edge of Barbaric Mountain Range, Yi Chen took out the map Hua Yingmai had given him and carefully compared it. Pointing northwest, he said, "It should be there." Barbaric Mountain Range was too big. Without a map, it would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. It would be hard to find the whereabouts of the phoenix plume tree. Of course, even with a map, they might not be able to find it. It was all a matter of luck. Murong Qingcheng said, "There are dozens of large and small barbarian tribes in Barbaric Mountain Range. Small tribes only have tens of thousands of people, while big tribes have millions of people. If it's really not possible, perhaps we can trade with the barbarian tribes. They have lived here for countless years, so perhaps they have the phoenix plume tree." Yi Chen nodded. "If we have no other choice, we can only deal with them. But, the barbarian tribes have a bad temper, so it might be a bit rough." Barbarian race was a branch of the human race, but they did not recognize themselves as humans. Therefore, some of them were not very friendly toward humans. Swish! The flying puppet flew toward the northwest of Barbaric Mountain Range. After several days, Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng arrived at the depths of Barbaric Mountain Range. As far as the eye could see, the continuous mountain peaks rose and fell, emitting a faint savage aura. "Let's go down." This was the place where the former Valley Master of the Flowing Spring Valley had found the phoenix plume tree. However, a map was a map after all, and the error could be as high as tens of thousands of miles. The place where the two landed was a low, desolate, and broken mountain peak. It seemed that some powerful life had once fought here. Releasing his soul power, Yi Chen could sense everything within a range of 500 miles. There was nothing strange. Changing to another place, Yi Chen continued to search. And so on. After 5 times, Yi Chen made a slight sound of surprise. What's wrong? Murong Qingcheng asked. Yi Chen said, there is a valley 300 miles away. The savage aura inside is very dense, and there is also a thick fog that can weaken soul power. Soul power cannot be used to search thoroughly. Let's get closer. The range of Murong Qingcheng's soul power was not as wide as Yi Chen's. Just like normal Sea of Souls realm warriors, it was also 100 miles. However, Murong Qingcheng had her demon eyes. If they were close enough, she could see through all the obstacles and see the situation inside the valley. After flying for nearly 300 miles, the two could see the valley hidden in the thick fog with their naked eyes. The outline of the valley was faintly discernible. Open. Circulating her demon power to her eyes, Murong Qingcheng's pupils opened up, revealing a golden vertical eye. The vertical eye shone with an invisible light as it looked toward the valley. On the side, Yi Chen thought to himself, demons are indeed a higher race than humans. This demon eye is something that every Sea of Souls realm demon dwellers have, so it is not that rare. However, it is rare for a human to have it. In order to defeat the demons, I wonder how many human warriors had died. After a long while, Murong Qingcheng closed her demon eye. There is a 10th grade black wind leopard inside. It has already discovered us and is rushing over. There are also many other leopard-type demonic beasts. Inside the valley, there is an area with an extremely dense spiritual light. Even my demon I can't see through it. It should be the spiritual chi emitted by spiritual grasses. Although the demon eye was powerful, it couldn't see through the dense energy. Soul power didn't have this weakness, but there were many things that could restrict or weaken soul power. Both had their own merits and shortcomings. Then let's wait. Yi Chen said. Roar. The dense fog at the entrance of the valley dispersed, and numerous air-piercing sounds resounded, accompanied by deep beast roars. Who has come to my Black Wind Valley? As the air-piercing sounds dissipated, a group of leopard-type demonic beasts appeared before Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng. The one in the lead was precisely the 10th grade Overlord Black Wind Leopard. However, this Black Wind Leopard had already transformed halfway. It was walking on 2 legs and had a malevolent leopard head. Yi Chen's expression didn't change as he said, I want to make a deal with you. Deal? What deal? The Black Wind Leopard sized up Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng, especially Murong Qingcheng. Yi Chen's expression turned cold as he said, we need a phoenix plume fruit. If you have it, I can pay double the amount of spiritual stones. Double the amount of spiritual stones for the phoenix plume fruit. The Black Wind Leopard chuckled, that's not low. How much is your so-called double the amount of spiritual stones? 1 phoenix plume fruit is worth 30,000 high-grade spiritual stones. I'll pay 60,000. 60,000 is too little. The Black Wind Leopard shook his head. Murong Qingcheng frowned, you have it? Of course I do. However, I'm not satisfied with your price. How about this, 100,000 high-grade spiritual stones and this woman? I'll give you the phoenix plume fruit in a month. The Black Wind Leopard's eyes flashed with a mocking light. Yi Chen sneered, I'm afraid you don't have it. He could tell that the other party was looking for trouble. Brat, you're an eyesore. I'll give you a choice. Scram immediately. Otherwise, you won't be able to return. The Black Wind Leopard naturally didn't have the phoenix plume fruit. After it cultivated to a half-human form, its sense of beauty had started to move closer to that of a human. Murong Qingcheng was undoubtedly in line with it. I'll also give you a choice. Tell me about the phoenix plume fruit or the phoenix plume tree. Otherwise, die. It was impossible to reason with such a ferocious demonic beast. Thus, he could only be more domineering. You're courting death. You actually dare to speak to my leader in such a manner. The group of 9th and 10th level leopard demonic beasts behind the Black Wind Leopard roared and attacked. Boundless demonic power turned into a gorgeous light beam that blasted towards Yi Chen. Break. Yi Chen didn't retreat. He pointed with his finger. Pop. A stone pillar-like cyan finger pierced through the air. Not only did it destroy the demonic power, it even shot towards the Black Wind Leopard. The Black Wind Leopard was an overlord of 10th level demonic beasts. It was extremely powerful. Ordinary 10th-level demonic beasts weren't even enough to fill the gaps between its teeth. This was also the reason why it dared to look down on Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng. It waved its claw that had yet to transform, and the cyan finger was immediately torn to pieces. Soul-extinguishing wave. Murong Qingcheng's attack followed. An invisible soul attack struck the black-winged leopard's soul sea. It caused him to feel slightly dizzy. However, it was only dizziness. After all, demonic beast will was different from human will. Moreover, Murong Qingcheng's comprehension of the soul-extinguishing wave had not reached perfection. Chapter 618. Woman, you've angered me. Among the land beasts, leopards were the fastest. As a Class 10 Overlord demonic beast, the black-winged leopard's speed was naturally its forte. There were very few demonic beasts of the same level that could surpass it. It stomped on the ground with its legs, and its enormous and nimble body turned into a series of afterimages as it shot toward Murong Qingcheng, intending to capture her. Whoosh! The black bat wings on her back unfurled. Murong Qingcheng instantly left her original spot and soared into the sky. Hey! You actually have wings as a human? The black-winged leopard raised its head and looked at Murong Qingcheng in astonishment. It was certain that her wings were not formed from energy. They truly existed. Void-shattering finger. Earlier, Yi Chen had only used 70 to 80% of his strength. Furthermore, it had been greatly weakened by the demonic energy of the other leopard-type demonic beasts. This time, he had used the full power of the void-shattering finger. With a single point of his finger, the omnipresent power of space was sucked over. This caused the cyan finger, which was the size of a stone pillar, to emit a faint cyan glow as it shot toward the black-winged leopard. Not good. The black-winged leopard's hair stood on end. The barbaric mountain range spanned tens of millions of li. As a Class 10 Overlord demonic beast, its territory spanned tens of thousands of li. In the barbaric mountain range, other than the barbarian tribes, it had no natural enemies. Although some of the other Class 10 Overlord demonic beasts were stronger than it, they were not as fast as it. Therefore, it was not afraid of them. However, Yi Chen's finger made it feel a great threat. It knew that it would not be able to dodge this finger with its speed. The black-winged leopard crossed its arms and a black whirlwind of demonic energy gathered in front of it. The whirlwind of demonic energy condensed into an octagonal shield to protect it. Boom! After that, the cyan finger smashed into the octagonal shield fiercely. Shockwaves and shockwaves soared into the sky. The black-winged leopard's feet rubbed against the ground as it retreated several thousand meters. In the end, it smashed into a small mountain, causing rubble to fly everywhere. Roar! A large amount of blood flowed out from the corner of the black-winged leopard's mouth. It was true that it was a 10th-grade Overlord demonic beast, but it specialized in speed. In terms of defense, it was much inferior to other 10th-grade Overlord demonic beasts. Of course, its defense was already very powerful, many times stronger than ordinary 10th-grade Overlord demonic beasts. Unfortunately, Yi Chen's void-shattering finger was one of the top offensive martial arts. Thus, how could it remain unscathed? How dare you injure me? You're dead. I'll eat you until not even your bones are left. The black-winged leopard believed that it had been caught off guard and had not been able to use its speed advantage, so its first reaction was not fear, but anger. Right now, it wanted to go all out to kill this hateful human and take away his woman. Rolling on the ground, the black-winged leopard returned to its original form from its half-human form. Surprisingly, it was an enormous black leopard. There were even grey patterns on its black fur. Exerting strength from its four limbs, it suddenly rushed toward Yi Chen. Its speed was so fast that it resembled a black ray of light. So fast, it's even faster than the experts of the cyan-eyed white wolf family. While the black-winged leopard was fast, the speed at which Yi Chen drew his sword was not slow either. Sword light blossomed as Yi Chen blocked the black-winged leopard's first attack. Dazzling sparks appeared before him. Flying assassination slash. At the same time as the black-winged leopard attacked Yi Chen, Murong Qingcheng did not remain idle. With a flap of the black bat wings on her back, space began to distort. With a shua sound, she disappeared. The next moment, She appeared in the sky above the black-winged leopard and sent a palm chop at it. Poochie. In terms of straight-line speed, the black-winged leopard was not inferior to Murong Qingcheng. However, after colliding head-on with Yi Chen earlier, its body was somewhat stiff. Thus, Murong Qingcheng's palm chop landed squarely on its back. Immediately, its fur flew about and a bloody wound appeared. Damn it! The black-winged leopard did not expect that Murong Qingcheng could injure it, even if it was only a flesh wound. Raising its 3-meter-long black iron rod-like tail, the black-winged leopard twisted its body and lashed at Murong Qingcheng, tearing the sky apart. Shua! Murong Qingcheng's body leaned back and teleported dozens of meters away, dodging the black-winged leopard's tail attack. Yi Chen was not worried about Murong Qingcheng. Murong Qingcheng was not a burden. Apart from lacking in offensive power, her overall strength was very high. Even if she encountered a young expert like Lin Tian or Lan Xieching, she could easily escape. It was the same principle as Yang Fengfeng did not need to fear the 5 young tyrants. Gold ripple. Changing his footwork, Yi Chen slashed the gold sword in his hand. Several golden sword qi spread out like ripples in the water. As for the black-winged leopard, it was like a fish in the water. It forcibly bore the impact of the ripples, and bone-deep sword scars covered its body. Damn it, I've kicked an iron plate. How could the black-winged leopard not understand that it had kicked an iron plate this time? Not to mention that Murong Qingcheng's speed was not inferior to its own, and her agility was far above its own. Even Yi Chen would be able to make it suffer a few pots. That high-speed attack just now could even cause a 10th-grade overlord to suffer a bit. However, not only did Yi Chen have the time to draw his sword, he was even able to clash head-on with it. Run! The black-winged leopard's body turned into a black beam and fled. Where do you think you're going? Murong Qingcheng seized the opportunity and unleashed another soul-extinguishing wave. The powerful soul ripple battered the black-winged leopard's sea of soul, reducing its speed by a level. With a flicker of sword light, Yi Chen blocked the black-winged leopard's path and said indifferently, "Tell me about the phoenix plume fruit. If you don't, I'll kill you right now." "I don't have any phoenix plume fruit." I was lying. The black-winged leopard groaned inwardly. Murong Qingcheng flew to Yi Chen's side and said to the black-winged leopard, "You have lived in the barbaric mountain range for so many years. You should have heard about the phoenix plume fruit." The black-winged leopard rolled its eyes and suddenly said, "I do know where the phoenix plume fruit is. I just don't know if you dare to go there. Tell me about it first," said Yi Chen. The black-winged leopard said, "There is a myriad hero mountain about 50,000 kilometers northwest of the Black-Wind Valley. It is occupied by a bear demon called Tyrant Bear. Tyrant Bear has 2 brothers, a snake demon and an eagle demon. Tyrant Bear is much stronger than me. Although his brothers aren't as strong as me, they are very difficult to deal with. Once, my subordinates and Tyrant Bear's subordinates encountered each other. Tyrant Bear's subordinates accidentally revealed that they would be given a fruit that is as long as a phoenix's tail during their celebration. Of course, they would only be given a fingernail. If I'm not wrong, that fruit should be the phoenix plume fruit you're looking for, right?" "Really?" Murong Qingcheng raised her brows. The black-winged leopard hurriedly nodded, "Absolutely. I believe that you're telling the truth. However, your sins are not small. I'll have to collect some interest." Yi Chen gestured to Murong Qingcheng and then flew into the valley. Murong Qingcheng followed behind Yi Chen. She knew that Yi Chen was going to the medicine garden in the valley. The valley was very large. There was a depression in the ground that was filled with spiritual plants. Most of them weren't worth much, but there were some that were clearly high-grade spiritual plants. There was also a black spiritual plant at the center of the medicine garden. There were ant-like fruits growing on the spiritual plant. Dense spiritual energy spread out and didn't disperse for a long time. Black ant grass. Yi Chen's expression changed. Murong Qingcheng asked, "Can this replace the king ant grass?" Yi Chen said, "Its effect isn't as powerful as the king ant grass, but it's about the same. Perhaps it can be used to refine the shadowless poison antidote." The antidote required 3 materials: phoenix plume fruit, king ant grass, and skeleton flower. They were currently searching for the phoenix plume fruit. If the black-winged leopard's words were true, they should be able to obtain it soon. If the black ant grass could replace the king ant grass, they would only be lacking the skeleton flower, which would save them a lot of effort. After storing the black ant grass and some rare high-grade spiritual plants into his storage ring, Yi Chen stopped. The black-winged leopard's mouth twitched from time to time, feeling incomparable heartache. All right, let's go. Yi Chen didn't plan to kill the black-winged leopard. Demonic beasts were different from humans. Demonic beasts were savage by nature, and it was impossible for them to be amiable. Therefore, the black-winged leopard's previous actions were understandable. If it were a human, Yi Chen would have killed him to avoid future troubles. Swish, swish. The two turned into two beams of light and left. They're finally gone. The black-winged leopard sat on the ground with lingering fear. In the sky, Murong Qingcheng creased her brows. Do you believe what it said? Yi Chen said, although demonic beasts have no lack of crafty ones, their intelligence cannot compare to humans. It's impossible for them to make up a story without even thinking. Moreover, my guess is correct. It should have suffered a loss at the hands of Tyrant Bear, and it has always been in a bad mood. This is also the reason why it revealed such a sneaky appearance. Moreover, I've already secretly left a strand of soul aura on its body. If it didn't deceive us, it wouldn't have a good future. Yi Chen's soul power was 5 times that of an ordinary person. Thus, leaving a strand of soul aura was quite easy. As his cultivation base grew, he could feel the strength of his soul talent. Ian, that makes sense. Murong Qingcheng nodded. 100,000 li wasn't a short distance. The two spent more than 2 hours to reach the myriad majestic mountain that the black-winged leopard mentioned. The myriad majestic mountain was a few thousand meters tall mountain that stretched for hundreds of li. Demonic chi pervaded the mountain, and the sky was grey and oppressive. Roar. Beastly roars could be heard from the mountain, shaking the surroundings. It's here. I'll use my soul power to check first. Yi Chen's pupils turned silver as his majestic soul power spread out, covering the entire myriad majestic mountain. When his soul power reached the main peak, 3 strands of soul power rushed out and blocked Yi Chen's soul power. Withdrawing his soul power, Yi Chen said, "We've been discovered. Let's go." There was no phoenix plume tree in other places, so it could only be the main peak. Inside the main peak of the myriad majestic mountain, 3 half-human half-beast figures stood there, facing a black-robed man and a rainbow-robed old man. At this moment, the black-robed man and the rainbow-robed old man revealed a strange expression. They're indeed here for the phoenix plume fruit. It wasn't a secret that Murong Qingcheng's mother was poisoned by the shadowless poison. Moreover, the phoenix plume fruit could only be found in the barbaric mountain range. Through the demonic beast surveillance, Skybird Ancestor and Yin Demon Ancestor followed them all the way to the myriad majestic mountain. Skybird Ancestor, we've agreed that all their treasures will belong to us. That woman will also be ours. The half-human half-bear figure said. Don't worry. This time, they won't be able to escape even if they grow wings. I won't go back on my words. Chapter 619. Sky Hunter Master didn't know the bear demon or the snake demon, but he knew the eagle demon. The eagle demon was a flying demonic beast that liked to fly high. It only stayed in Wanxiong Mountain for half a year. The rest of the time, it would wander outside. Once, Sky Hunter Master and the eagle demon encountered each other and fought. The reason was that Sky Hunter Master wanted to subdue the eagle demon, but he didn't succeed in the end. Moreover, during that expedition, an old monster over 200 years old appeared. His strength was terrifying, and Sky Hunter Master and the eagle demon joined hands to escape. From then on, the man and the demon became familiar with each other, although they still had their own ulterior motives. They dared to come to our Wanxiong Mountain and behave atrociously. They really don't know how to write the word death. The eagle demon's voice was very sharp, like an eagle's cry. They are here. The snake demon squinted its eyes, looking sinister. Several li away from the main peak, Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng were floating in the sky. Use your demonic eye to see if there is a phoenix plume tree on the main peak. Yi Chen could also see with his soul eye, but it consumed too much soul energy, so he didn't need to use it. In any case, it was the same with Murong Qingcheng's demonic eye. Nodding, Murong Qingcheng circulated her demonic power to her eyes. Found it. There is a phoenix plume tree beside the underground river under the main peak. It is about 3 meters tall, and there are a lot of phoenix plume fruits on it. Soon, Murong Qingcheng found the location of the phoenix plume tree. A happy expression flashed through her face as she said, "We only need 1 phoenix plume fruit. Let's negotiate with them first." A bear demon that was stronger than the black-winged leopard, and 2 snake demon and eagle demon that were weaker than the black-winged leopard. This force couldn't be underestimated. Even Yi Chen had to be careful. Of course, if the negotiation failed, he could only take it by force. He was determined to get the phoenix plume fruit. Whoosh, whoosh. The two flew towards the main peak. There was a huge cave entrance halfway up the main peak. Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng stood outside the cave and shouted, "Is Tyrant Bear inside? I am Yi Chen, I have something to discuss with you. Come in first." A deep and overbearing voice came from the cave. "Come, let's go in." Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng walk into the cave. After a while, the two of them arrived at the cave inside the main peak. There were 3 half-human, half-beast figures in the cavern that was like a hall. The one sitting at the head was a huge bear that was 5 to 6 meters tall. It was obvious that he was the tyrant bear that the black-winged leopard had mentioned. On his left and right were a snake demon with a human head and a bird's body, and an eagle demon with a human head and a bird's body. The 3 beasts were all looking at Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng. "What business do you have with me?" Xiong Bie's huge eyes looked down at Yi Chen. Yi Chen frowned slightly and said, "I heard that there's a phoenix plume tree in the Wanxiong mountain. I'm here for a phoenix plume fruit. The price is negotiable." "You want the phoenix plume fruit?" Xiong Bie was not surprised, as if he had been prepared for this. "That's right. Cici, where did you hear that our Wanxiong mountain has a phoenix plume tree?" The snake demon's eyes were sinister as it stuck out its scarlet tongue. Yi Chen said, "The black-winged leopard. So it's him." The snake demon's eyes were filled with killing intent. "Gentlemen, 1 phoenix plume fruit shouldn't be a big deal to you. I wonder if you can sell it to us. The price won't make you suffer a loss." Murong Qingcheng wore a black veil and said. The eagle demon looked straight at Murong Qingcheng. "Why hide your face when you come to my Wanxiong mountain? Take off your veil and see your true face. Maybe you'll agree." Yi Chen's face darkened. "We're here to buy the phoenix plume fruit. I just want to ask if the 3 of you will agree. Who do you think you are to interrupt me?" The eagle demon glared at Yi Chen with killing intent. Yi Chen did not look at it, but looked at Xiong Bie who was sitting in the head seat. Xiong Bie gulped down a huge jar of wine and said, "We can't give you the phoenix plume fruit. On the contrary, we want your wealth and this woman." Hee hee. Yi Chen smiled instead of getting angry. He squinted his eyes and said with a sharp gaze, "Seems like the 3 of you don't intend to do business with us." "That's right. Whoever has the bigger fist will listen to them. Come to my Wanxiong mountain, even a dragon has to coil up and a tiger has to lie down." Xiong Bie said with disdain. Shifting his gaze, Yi Chen saw the 3 demons and said indifferently, "Do you think you can keep us here with just the 3 of you? What if you add us?" A black-robed man and a rainbow-robed old man walked out from the fork. Yi Chen turned around and his pupils constricted. "Yin Demon Ancestor. Hihi, long time no see." Yin Demon Ancestor had a warm smile on his face. However, this smile didn't give people a warm feeling. Instead, it was filled with killing intent, an undisguised killing intent. Yi Chen said thoughtfully, "I didn't expect you to come out. This is really out of my expectation. If I'm not wrong, you've been following me all the way here. What, you still don't want to give up?" "Give up?" Yin Demon Ancestor sneered. "What belongs to me, I will definitely get it. This time, you won't be able to escape even if you grow wings." Yi Chen's expression didn't change as he said indifferently, "If I can make you fall once, I can make you fall a second time. Moreover, it will be the last time." Big words. The rainbow-robed old man's multicolored pupils were extremely strange. Yi Chen. Murong Qingcheng was a bit worried. The enemy was too powerful. 3 demonic beasts and 2 powerful master-level characters. Even one of the 5 young tyrants might not be able to win against them. Moreover, Yi Chen was still a bit weaker than the 5 young tyrants. Yi Chen held Murong Qingcheng's slender hand. "Don't worry. En." She didn't know why, but Yi Chen's words gave her a sense of security. "What? Even at this point, you still think you can escape?" Yin Demon Ancestor was infuriated by Yi Chen's attitude. Yi Chen moved his finger and shook his head. "Escape? I've never thought about it. As long as I kill you, everything will be fine." Arrogant. Not only Yin Demon Ancestor and Skybird Ancestor, even the Tyrant Bear Trio were angered. "Skybird Ancestor, Yin Demon Ancestor, don't talk nonsense with him. Join hands and subdue him and this woman." Eagle Demon's voice was sharp as he took the initiative to attack. With a flap of his wings, he shot toward Murong Qingcheng with a speed not inferior to the black-winged leopard. His huge claws reached out, wanting to subdue her. Darkness curtain. Murong Qingcheng raised a black barrier. Rip! The barrier was torn apart. An eagle demon squeezed in with great difficulty. Scram! Yi Chen took out his Thunder Disaster Sword and repelled Eagle Demon. "Brat, obediently surrender. Otherwise, you'll have a good time." Tyrant Bear and Snake Demon also made their moves. Tyrant Bear's body was huge, and his every movement contained a mountain-shattering power. He took a step forward and slightly clenched his huge bear paw, striking toward Yi Chen. Snake Demon coiled its body and raised its head, spitting out a green light wave. The light wave hissed and carried a dizzying poison chi. Golden Ripple. Facing the 3 demons, Yi Chen was not afraid at all. Using his Thunder Disaster Sword, he sent out Golden Ripple. 7-8 golden sword chi fanned out like ripples in water. Peng 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 peng. Tyrant Bear was the strongest, followed by Eagle Demon and Snake Demon. However, the average strength of the 3 was similar to the black-winged leopard. How could they block Yi Chen's Thunder Disaster Sword's Golden Ripple? All of them retreated one after another. The powerful shockwave radiated in all directions, shaving off a layer of the main peak. Earth as heaven. At this moment, Yin Demon Ancestor's Jin Yuan circulated to the limit and he sent out a palm strike. The palm energy contained the profound of Earth, reversing the universe. The sky was no longer the sky, and the Earth was no longer the Earth. It was completely reversed, trying to subvert Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng's sense of direction and make them lose their balance. At the same time, his left palm turned into a blade and slashed out horizontally, using the powerful Yin Demon Chop. The gray-black sawtooth blade light was as fast as lightning. Demonic Finger. Murong Qingcheng flapped her wings and tried her best to maintain her balance. Her right index finger was covered in a layer of black light as a black light sphere condensed at her fingertip and attacked the sawtooth blade light. Rumble. Another violent shockwave exploded, and the top half of the main peak was completely blown away, shattering into millions of pieces. Skybird Claw. The most powerful Skybird Ancestor made his move. His right hand turned into a claw and clawed at the air. A multicolored claw light shot out and unexpectedly cut through Murong Qingcheng's curtain of darkness as if it was tofu. If she was hit by this claw, even if Murong Qingcheng had a demonic body, she would lose her fighting strength. The 4 humans and 3 demons had only exchanged blows for a short moment. By the time Yi Chen repelled the 3 demons, Murong Qingcheng was already in danger. His expression was calm as he extended his left index finger and pointed at the multicolored claw light. The cyan-colored finger, which was emitting a halo, arrived first and defeated the opponent. Herculean Bear King Art. On the other side, Tyrant Bear, who was stronger than the black-winged leopard, had an ugly expression. He used a secret art unique to demonic beasts, and his body grew several times bigger. An earthen yellow radiance revolved around his body as he rushed over with large strides and punched out again. This punch had not yet landed, but the surrounding 10 li was already trembling. Dream-eating wolf, it's time for you to come out. After defeating Skybird Ancestor's claw light, Yi Chen lightly patted the beast-taming token on his waist. Awoo! In an instant, the beast-taming token trembled, and a giant red wolf scuttled out. This wolf's head was filled with eyes, and they were tightly shut. The moment it came out, it raised its head to the sky and howled ferociously. This is... Skybird Ancestor pondered for a moment before his eyes widened. Dream-eating wolf, it's actually a dream-eating wolf. He actually has a dream-eating wolf, and it's at level 10. Boom. After forcing Tyrant Bear back, Yi Chen instructed Dream-eating wolf, use the Dreamland ability. Dream-eating wolf nodded, and the numerous eyes on its head opened. A dense dim light spread out in all directions with Dream-eating wolf as the center, like a slightly transparent tide. Not good, retreat quickly, Skybird Ancestor roared. A pair of 5-colored Jin Yuan wings condensed on his back, and he shot into the distance. Yin Demon Ancestor received his warning and was slightly delayed. Immediately, he was enveloped by the dim light. At the same time, Tyrant Bear, Serpent Demon, and Eagle Demon were also enveloped by the dim light. 1 man and 3 demons fell into the range of the dim light. Their faces were filled with struggle, but the degree of it was different. Among them, Tyrant Bear was the first to enter the Dreamland, followed by Serpent Demon. On the contrary, Eagle Demon and Yin Demon Ancestor didn't enter immediately, but they were also in a half-dreamland state. Chapter 620. When Yi Chen encountered Dream-eating wolf for the first time, he was caught off guard and suffered quite a bit. If not for his strong
eagle
will,
demon was
it would have been
fast.
impossible
No matter
for
how
him to
fast
destroy the
it
dreamland
could
in an
not match
instant.
the speed of the sword
Ever
chi.
since dream-eating
Its
wolf
back,
swallowed the
tail,
9
and
twisted
left
spirit
wing
grass,
were all hit
his
by the
dreamland
sword.
creation
Its
ability had
steel-like
become much
feathers
stronger
and
than
bright
before.
red blood
As
splattered
long as
all
the
over
will
the
did
sky.
not exceed the
It
fourth step,
staggered and
it would be
almost fell
impossible
from the
to
sky.
resist the
"I'll
corrosion
fight
of the
it out
dreamland.
with you."
With
Eagle
his
demon
left wing
and
injured,
demon
the eagle
ancestor
demon
should have had
speed
some
was
kind of
greatly
fortuitous
reduced.
encounter.
He turned
which was
around
why they
and
did not
flapped his
fall
right
into the
wing.
dreamland in an earth-shattering crescent wind
Instead,
blade
they were in a
slashed
half
towards
dreamland
Yi Chen.
state.
Sword
Kill
steps.
tyrant bear
Yi
and
Chen
snake
was like
demon
a
first.
zigzagging sword
Yi
light,
Chen said to
shuttling through
Murong
the densely
Ching-cheng.
packed wind
Murong
blades.
Ching-cheng woke
Whenever
up
he
from the
encountered
shock
a gap,
and pointed out
he
her
would
finger
break it
at
with
the
his
bear
sword.
tyrant and the
Wind
snake
fire
beast.
pellet.
The pitch-black
Seeing
finger
that the
power
wind blades
instantly
could not do
pierced
anything
through the
to Yi
snake
Chen,
beast's head.
a hideous
Only the
expression
bear
flashed
tyrant's
through his
defense
face.
was too high.
He opened
so
his
it only
beak,
made its
and
head
a green-red
bleed.
pearl was
Moreover,
spat out.
the pain
This
made it
pearl
feel like it was
expanded
about to
rapidly
leave
in
the
the dream,
dream.
turning
On the
into
other
the size
side,
of a house.
Yi Chen approached
Its
the
whole body
demon
was
ancestor
surrounded
at
by
an
red
extreme
flames
speed.
and dark blue
Relying
wind.
on sword
The
chi
wind
to
and
kill
fire
Yin demon
stimulated
ancestor
each other,
was not very
doubling
safe.
its power.
After
It
all,
then
he
attacked
was only in a
towards Yi
half
Chen
dreamland
with lightning
state,
speed,
and the intense danger would wake him
Inner
up.
pellet.
Once he
Yi
did,
Chen was
a single
shocked.
sword chi
When
would at
demonic
most heavily
beasts were
injure
below
him.
rank 9,
It would not
they
be
would
able
all
to
have
kill
an inner
him
pellet
instantly.
inside their bodies.
Therefore, it
Yi
was their
Chen had to get
foundation,
closer.
just like a human's
Once he got
dantian,
close,
which
he would
stored a
have the
huge amount
confidence
of
to
beast
kill him
power.
regardless of whether
Demonic
he was
beasts
awake or
below
not.
rank 9 would not be able to
as
let
soon
their
as Yi
inner
Chen
pellets
got
fly
close,
out to
Yin
attack.
demon ancestor
Only a
woke
small
up.
portion of
No.
demonic beasts
Yin
with
demon
this kind of
ancestor
talent
roared
would
as
be
he
able to
raised his
do
right
it.
palm,
However,
dragging out a
unless it was a
sawtooth
life
blade
and
light
death
as he
situation,
ruthlessly
they
chopped
would
at
not
the
dare to
incoming
do
Yi
it,
Chen.
because once
At
their
the
inner
moment of
pellets were
life and
destroyed,
death,
they
his
would lose
balloons
at
all
least
burst
half of their
out.
cultivation.
This palm
which was
blade was
extremely
even more
dangerous.
powerful than when he
However,
was at his peak,
after the
causing
demonic
spatial
beasts reached
ripples
rank
to
9,
distort crazily.
their inner pellets would
I
be
said
refined,
that if I can make
turning
you
into
fall
a
once,
beast power
I
ocean.
can make you fall a
It was
second
just like
time.
when a human
As
reached
for
the
the
sea
third
of Soul's
time,
realm.
that's it.
The Jinyuan
Yi
core in
Chen's
their
face was
dantian would
expressionless
directly
as the
turn
thunder
into a
Jinyuan
Jinyuan
sword
ocean.
pierced out with
Although
an even
the two had
faster
different
speed.
names,
Using the
the
wood
principles
profound
were
sword
similar.
move,
He
amaranthine
really did not
nature.
expect that the
Pucci,
eagle beast
Yin
would have a
demon
wind and
ancestors
fire
Yin
dual
demon chop
elemental
had only
pellet
been
inside its
executed
body.
halfway when
It
his
should be
forehead
known
was
that
pierced.
attacking with the
His
inner pellet
pupils
was the
dilated
most
to the
powerful
extreme,
attack of the
as if he
demonic
could not
beasts with
believe
this
that he
kind
had
of
died
talent.
just like that.
It meant that they
Taking
were
out
going
the
to
thunder
risk their
disaster
lives.
sword,
Yi
it was
Chen
not hard
twisted
to
his
imagine
body
that
and
the
turned around
attacking
in the
power
air,
would definitely
flying toward
increase
the
by a
eagle
whole
demon
new
who
level.
was 100 meters
Taking
away.
a deep breath,
The eagle
Yi Chen's
demon
body
was shaken
spun in
awake
the air
by the
as he
roar
waved
of the
out
Yin
dozens
demon
of golden
ancestor
sword
before
chi,
his death.
attacking on the
Seeing
huge
Yi
inner
Chen
pellet that was
approaching him,
surrounded by
he
wind and
shrieked and
fire.
flapped his wings,
This inner
wanting
pellet
to
was
escape.
indestructible,
Gold
and no
ripple.
matter how powerful
Along the
Yi
way,
Chen was,
Yi Chen
he could
swung
not
the long
destroy
sword
it with
with
one
one
hand,
attack.
and 7
At
to 8
most,
streams
he
of
could
golden
slow it
sword
down a
chi
little.
spread out like
The
scattered
eagle
water
demon's
ripples.
feathered face
Puff,
twitched.
puff,
The windfire
puff.
core was connected to his soul, and was a part of his body. When the windfire core suffered an intense attack, he didn't feel good either. Plus, this inner core was equivalent to 1/3 of his cultivation. This cultivation was his life's cultivation, and it would take a long time to recover even a little bit. It wasn't as simple as replenishing his demonic power. Once the pellet is used, even the boss tyrant bear would not be able to compete with it. Eagle Beast had always been proud. Although his status in the Xiong Mountain was not as high as Tyrant Bear, that was because he had not taken out his biggest ace card yet. He knew that it was necessary to have a life-saving ace card, which could save his life in a critical moment. Therefore, he had never shown it in front of anyone. As for this wind-fire pellet, it was not his special ability. Instead, it was something he had learned from a beast's secret art. This secret art could allow him to split his inner pellet when he became a rank 9 beast. Part of the pellet would turn into a beast power ocean, while the other part would remain the same. After so many years, he had only used it 3 times. The first time was on a beast that was more powerful than him, and he eventually killed it. The second time was when Sky Hunter Master wanted to tame him, and the third time was right now. The wind-fire pellet contained 1/3 of his cultivation. Once it was used to attack, it would be twice as powerful as his most powerful attack. Boom 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 boom, the wind-fire pellet kept clashing with Yi Chen. Wind and fire filled up half of the sky, and even the rocks in the mountains were melted, turning into red lava. This brat actually has a dream-eating wolf. No wonder he dared to talk so arrogantly. A few miles away, Sky Hunter Master flapped the colorful wings on his back, looking at Yi Chen and the dream-eating wolf with a gloomy face. Although the dream-eating wolf's battle power was not as powerful as the top-rank beasts, it was still very rare. It was even more useful to humans than those beasts. It was definitely one of the rare beasts. Looking at the dream-eating wolf, Sky Hunter Master's face was filled with greed. He did not want to leave right now, and seemed to want to watch from the sidelines. Eagle Beast's wind fire pellet made me suffer a lot. Even if it can't defeat this brat, it can still exhaust him. I have to find a way to take the dream-eating wolf away. Roar. Right at this moment, an earth-shattering roar of a bear resounded. With Tyrant Bear as the center, the space rippled, and the ground cracked. Tyrant Bear was the owner of the Wnxiong Mountain after all, and his body was far more powerful than other beast overlords of the same level. Even the level 9 ice flood dragon that Yi Chen had encountered in the savage ancient land was much weaker than him. Of course, the ice flood dragon was a top-rank beast just like Blue Phoenix, and once it reached level 10, Tyrant Bear would not be able to compete with it. But no matter what, Tyrant Bear's battle power was undeniable. After suffering a series of heavy injuries, Tyrant Bear finally woke up from his dream. Seeing Murong Qingcheng continuously attacking him, he was enraged. Roar. The dream-eating wolf also roared into the sky, but it did not help Yi Chen. Yi Chen had told it to help Murong Qingcheng deal with Tyrant Bear. The dim light was like a tide, constantly attacking Tyrant Bear's soul sea. The red fur on the surface of the dream-eating wolf's body rose up like a raging red flame. Seeing that the dream-eating wolf was staying here, Murong Qingcheng knew that it was Yi Chen's order. Curtain of darkness. With a wave of her hand, a black barrier appeared, protecting her and the dream-eating wolf. The black bat wings on Murong Qingcheng's back expanded to the limit. Streams of black light flowed into her body through the bat wings, and finally flowed along her meridians to her fingertips. Demonic finger, Murong Qingcheng shouted, pointing a finger at the enraged Tyrant Bear. Bang! A black sun rose from the Wnxiong Mountain, and Tyrant Bear, who had been eroded by the dream, was sent flying, unable to fight back at all. Well done. Murong Qingcheng knew that the dream-eating wolf had done its best. Without its dream power, Tyrant Bear would not have been in such a daze. Woo woo woo. The dream-eating wolf wagged its tail. Murong has the help of the dream-eating wolf, and she has also inherited the demon's martial arts from the demon's bloodline. So, there should be no problem. It is the Sky Hunter Master who will be a problem. While battling with the Eagle Beast, Yi Chen could still split his attention to observe the surroundings, especially the Sky Hunter Master's every move. Let's take care of the Eagle Beast first. This pellet will be the reward for the dream-eating wolf. After reaching rank 9, the demonic beasts would lose their pellets, which would be a lot less valuable. Therefore, under normal circumstances, there would not be many Sea of Souls realm warriors who would hunt rank 9 or 10 beasts, since the gains would not make up for the losses. However, the Eagle Beast was different, since it still had the pellet inside its body. If the dream-eating wolf swallowed it, it would definitely increase its beast power by a lot. And, the importance of the dream-eating wolf went without saying. I will let you have a taste of my new Thunder Devour. With the Thunder Disaster Sword in his right hand and the Gold Sword in his left, the two swords crossed in front of each other. Two oppositely arranged thunderbolts fused together, forming a deep thunder ball. This was not the dual sword style, since the real dual sword style would only produce a thunder ball at the very last moment. In fact, this Thunder Devour was the combined attack of the Sky Thundercut and the Reverse Sky Thundercut. A long time ago, Yi Chen had already planned to do this, but he had never succeeded. Only after the Sky Thundercut had reached 110%, and his Thunder Profound had improved a lot, did he succeed in fusing it. Pap! The destructive thunder spread out everywhere. Yi Chen was in the middle of it, attacking at an extreme speed toward the pellet. Now is the time. The Sky Hunter Master saw that the battle between Yi Chen and the Eagle Beast was still going on, so he could not afford to be distracted. So, he flew toward the dream-eating wolf. In his opinion, it would be impossible for Yi Chen and the Eagle Beast to win within a second. And, with the preparation, he would not be invaded by the dream-eating wolf's dream. Once he wounded the dream-eating wolf badly, he could even use Murong Qingcheng to threaten Yi Chen, leaving him no chance to fight back. Chapter 621. A Woo. The dream-eating wolf's soul was extremely powerful. It immediately sensed the approaching Sky Hunter Master. It turned around, its red fur stood up, and a dim light shot out from its head towards the Sky Hunter Master like a wave. Darkness sky. With the dream-eating wolf's warning, Murong Qingcheng had also noticed the Sky Hunter Master's movement. She pushed out both of her hands, and a black screen covered half of the sky, blocking the Sky Hunter Master's path. The Sky Hunter Master sneered. He reached out both of his hands and tore open the black screen. Soul-destroying wave. Murong Qingcheng's expression did not change. She held a black light ball in her right hand and tightened her fingers. The black light ball exploded, turning into a black fan-shaped light wave, shooting towards the Sky Hunter Master. Not good. The soul vibration from the fan-shaped light wave could not escape the Sky Hunter Master's senses. He did not expect Murong Qingcheng to have a soul attack type martial art. If it were not for the dream-eating wolf, he would not be afraid. But the dream-eating wolf's ability to create dreams was way too powerful. If he was even slightly careless, he would fall for it. Great Sky Crow Art. The Sky Hunter Master patted the beast tag on his waist with his right hand. All of a sudden, a huge amount of black crows rushed out. These black crows were only rank 4 demonic beasts, which were equivalent to a late condensing reality realm human warrior. But there were way too many of them. Thousands of them covered the sky. Caw, caw, caw. A huge amount of black crows rushed towards the fan-shaped light wave like a black tide. Without a sound, the black crows that had collided with the light wave all fell down. Both of their eyes turned white. Obviously, their souls had been destroyed. The fan-shaped light wave had also dimmed a lot after being attacked by the black crows. The soul vibration it contained was almost negligible, so it could not affect the Sky Hunter Master at all. Boom. On the other side, Yi Chen and the wind-fire pellet had also clashed together, bringing up a sky full of thunder and fire. Crack. Indistinctly, there was the sound of something shattering amidst the thunderclap. Impossible. Eagle Beast's eyes were filled with fear as he puked out a mouthful of blood. Break. Yi Chen could see the cracks on the windfire dan, and there was a thick beast power leaking out from the cracks. He sheathed his gold sword and clenched his left hand into a fist. A white dragon bone defense layer covered his fist as he threw a punch right at the center of the dan. Bang! The wind and fire pellet shook violently for a few times before it suddenly shrunk. In the end, it turned into a green and red pearl that was only the size of a bowl. Reaching out with his left hand, Yi Chen grabbed the wind flame pill, which had shrunk in size, tightly. "You want to take my wind fire pill? Die." The wind fire pellet was a part of the eagle demon's body, so it was easy to control. Its eyes narrowed, and the wind fire pellet in Yi Chen's hand immediately began to tremble, as if it wanted to grow bigger again. On the surface of the wind-fire pellet, the wind-fire yarrow chi spilled out, burning Yi Chen's palm. Crack. Yi Chen's left hand's 5 fingers were like hooks. No matter how hard the wind-fire pellet shook, it could not grow even a bit bigger. As for the wind-fire yarrow chi, it could not do anything to the dragon bone defense either. It could only make the dragon bone defense a bit darker. Of course, Yi Chen could not keep fighting with the eagle beast like this. He held the Thunder Disaster Sword in his right hand and threw out a gold pattern attack. The scattered golden sword chi made it impossible for the eagle beast to escape. No. After losing the pellet, the eagle beast only had 2/3 of its cultivation left. Even if its body's power did not decrease, it still could not compete with Yi Chen's sword chi. Pooh. 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 Blood splashed everywhere as the eagle beast was torn apart by the golden sword chi. The wind-fire pellet that had lost control also quieted down. This eagle beast is indeed powerful. If I did not use my Thunder Devour, it would probably take me more than 100 attacks to kill it. Yi Chen held the pellet and sighed. Beast Binding Thorns. Yi Chen had killed the eagle beast in less than 10 blinks of an eye. During this time, Sky Hunter Master had already broken through Murong Qingcheng's defense and performed a sealing martial art. The dream-eating wolf was surrounded by a golden light as a pure golden thorn appeared and wrapped around the dream-eating wolf. That long golden thorn pierced into the dream-eating wolf's body. A woo. The dream-eating wolf wanted to struggle, but the more it struggled, the tighter the golden thorns bound it. Moreover, the golden thorns were making it feel extremely painful. Flying sky assassination cut. The black bat wings on her back flapped. Murong Qingqing's body moved unpredictably, turning into dozens of images all of a sudden, attacking toward the Sky Hunter Master from all directions. It was hard to tell which one was real and which one was fake, and which one was real and which one was fake. This woman is so fast. Sky Hunter Master's expression did not change as he patted the beast tag on his waist. Screech, caw, roar. Several different beast roars sounded. At the same time, a demon bird with a long horn on its head, a crow with black flames all over its body, and a winged dog rushed out from the beast tag and appeared around the Sky Hunter Master. Go. Capture this woman for me. Remember, do not kill her. Although Murong Qingqing was powerful, her speed was a bonus. The 3 beasts that Sky Hunter Master had let out were all rank 10 beasts that specialized in speed. Each of them was quite powerful, even more powerful than Master Level C of Soul's Realm warriors like Hai Wuya. In order to tame these 3 beasts, he had spent a lot of effort. Hearing Sky Hunter Master's order, the 3 rank 10 beasts flapped their wings and started to fight against Murong Qingqing, who was extremely fast. Although their speed was not as fast as Murong Qingqing, the 3 of them worked together to suppress her, making it impossible for her to get close to Sky Hunter Master. Hee. After getting rid of Murong Qingqing, Sky Hunter Master turned his head to look at the dream-eating wolf. The dream-eating wolf was still struggling. Even though it was covered in wounds and the blood had made its red fur even brighter, it still did not give up. It even tried its best to open all of the eyes on its forehead as wide as possible, letting out an even thicker dim light. It is useless. Although Sky Hunter Master said that, his eyes were still a bit absent-minded. He was shocked, so he hurried to bite his tongue and push his martial will to its limit, battling against the dim light. Meanwhile, he clenched his fist, and the golden thorns around the dream-eating wolf tightened, stabbing deep into its body. Awoo! The dream-eating wolf screamed into the sky. You are looking for death. From afar, Yi Chen saw this scene and his eyes turned cold. His body flashed once, turning into a beam of sword light and flying out. How could he take care of the eagle beast so quickly? Because Sky Hunter Master was focused on fighting against the dream-eating wolf's dream erosion, he did not pay any attention to Yi Chen. It was not until Yi Chen flew over that he realized it. Damn it, the second he was distracted, the dream-eating wolf's dream erosion became more and more violent, which made him lose his focus. It scared him so much that he immediately stopped paying attention to Yi Chen. I can't let this go on anymore. Sky Hunter Master raised up his palm, trying to knock the dream-eating wolf out. One finger shattering the void. Yi Chen reached out his left index finger and pointed at Sky Hunter Master from afar. Pop! The blue hand shrunk the distance between them, appearing right in front of Sky Hunter Master within a second. That horrifying space power made his protective Jin Yuan dim and twist intensely. Damn it! Damn it! Sky Hunter Master hated it so much that he was grinding his teeth. Just one more step, and he would be able to get the dream-eating wolf. As long as he could tame the dream-eating wolf, together with all of his beasts, any Master Level C of Soul's Realm warriors would not be able to do anything to him. Yi Chen, I will remember you. Sky Hunter Master left without hesitation. He flapped his colorful wings, instantly getting away from the dream-eating wolf and shooting into the distance. He did not even care about the 3 beasts that he had released. Where do you think you are going? Murong Qingqing saw that Yi Chen had arrived, so she let out a breath of relief. Then, the black bat wings on her back flapped once again, twisting the space pattern into an arc shoe. Under the siege of the 3 beasts, Murong Qingqing's body disappeared without a trace. In front of Sky Hunter Master, a huge black light poured out as a pitch-black finger pointed at his forehead. You are looking for death. Sky Hunter Master formed a claw with his right hand and threw out a claw attack. Boom! The shockwave swept across the sky. Murong Qingqing had blood dripping out from the corner of her mouth as she was blown backward. Although Sky Hunter Master did not back out, he was still frozen where he was. Shoo! The sword light flashed once, and Yi Chen appeared in front of Sky Hunter Master. "You cannot run away now," Yi Chen said coldly. Sky Hunter Master was enraged. "Little brat, do you really think that you can stop me by yourself? If I, Sky Hunter Master, want to leave, no one can stop me." Then, his body split into two. Two identical Sky Hunter Masters appeared. Even their soul auras were the same. It was impossible to tell which one was the real one. The two Sky Hunter Masters flew in different directions, one on the left and one on the right. Yi Chen was not affected at all. His body moved and also split into two figures. Although these two figures did not have the same soul aura, other than the soul aura, it was still impossible to tell which one was the real one. Yi Chen on the left held his gold sword and flew out, stabbing towards one of the Sky Hunter Masters. The extreme speed of the sword made his body look like a phantom in the water. Swoosh. There was no blood. This Sky Hunter Master was fake. The other Yi Chen chased closely behind the real one. His speed was obviously faster. "Little brat, you will not have a good ending if you go too far. You should not say that to me. If I manage to escape today, I will pay you back 10 times in the future." Sky Hunter Master's figure split into two again. Shadow explosion. This time, Yi Chen did not create any clones. He exploded directly, and countless black shadows shot out, drowning Sky Hunter Master and his clones within. There was a golden sword chi moving within the black shadows, followed by colorful claw shadows. Knowing that he could not escape, Sky Hunter Master's eyes were filled with hatred. He started to fight with Yi Chen, pushing his power to the extreme. Unfortunately, his power was only slightly higher than that of Yin Demon Master. The reason why Yin Demon Master had asked for him was because he had a lot of beasts. With the help of beasts, Sky Hunter Master's power was way beyond Lin Tian and Lan Sheqing. Although he was not as powerful as the top 5 young warriors, it would not take them only 1 or 2 attacks to kill him. He had sent out 3 of his most powerful beasts to fight against Murong Qingcheng, and they would not be able to make it in time. Without a powerful beast, the Sky Hunter Master could only send out some of the weaker beasts to fight against Yi Chen. However, they were all cut in half by Yi Chen's sword attack. Soon, even he himself had lost an arm. Shoo! The golden sword light shone in the sky as Yi Chen appeared behind Sky Hunter Master while holding the sword with both of his hands. There was a faint blood mark on his neck. As the wind blew, Sky Hunter Master's head flew up into the sky. Blood sprayed out like a fountain. Chapter 622. I will not accept this. The head that had shot up into the sky let out an extremely venomous roar before stopping abruptly. Yi Chen shook his head. If he had known this earlier, he would not have gotten involved in this mess. Putting away the Sky Hunter Master's storage ring, Yi Chen flicked out his finger. An extremely sharp green lotus sword chi shot out, shattering the golden thorns on the dream-eating wolf's body. The dream-eating wolf got out, growling at Yi Chen as the wounds on its body slowly healed. Yi Chen said, "You've done well. The phoenix plume fruit
There will be a reward
for you
and
heal any internal
Nodding
injuries."
satisfyingly,
At the same time, it also has the effect of nourishing yin and yang. You still can't take shook her head. He originally wanted to let the tyrant bear refine some of the dragon blood away by extract the dragon power demon finger. The tyrant bear knew that it was not good, so it escaped was much stronger than the spirit body. On the other hand, Murong Qingcheng had to deal with the Sky Hunter Master, than a rank 3 so she did not chase after so it could hold more dragon power. It's just a demonic beast. Said, "Spirit plants and pellets that are useful no matter to human how powerful the tyrant bear was to me. It was only those medicinal herbs its that intelligence are close to the demons are useful and to me. And it was not as cunning after as knowing that she couldn't refine the dragon blood master. She understood that she had embarked on a completely different path from human warriors. Let's go underground. Too bad." The purpose of this trip was the phoenix plume tree and flew to the side of the phoenix plume tree. Instead of going down with a wave of his right hand, the 2 men and the wolf directly penetrated the ground and arrived at a depth of more than 6,000 meters below the main underground river surged violently, and the phoenix plume sound of flowing water came from an underground river floated in the air. However, the river was more than 100 meters wide. Plume tree didn't move at all by the river, as if it was embedded in the tree. There was a 3-meter-tall, multicolored tree. Holding a phoenix plume fruit in his left hand, making it look magnificent with all his strength. Noble. The powerful force acted on the phoenix plume
the
fruit,
gazes of
and
the
he
two
barely
humans
managed
and
to
one
pick it
wolf
off.
were focused
At the
on the
same
colourful
time,
tree.
the sound of steel breaking
was
could be
different
heard.
from ordinary
It's
trees.
too tight.
Its entire
Even with
body
100,000
seemed to be made of red
pounds of
jade,
strength,
and its
I can
surface
barely
emitted
pick it
a
off.
multicolored
Yi
glow.
Chen was
It
secretly
didn't have
shocked.
many branches,
Here,
but it was
Yi
just
Chen
right.
threw the phoenix
At the
plume
joints
fruit
of some
to the
branches,
dream-eating wolf.
there were fruits
A
hanging
woo.
down.
The dream-eating
These
wolf
fruits looked
jumped
like
up and
bananas,
bit on the
but they
phoenix
were
plume
flatter
fruit.
than bananas.
The wounds on
They
its
were
body
about a
had
foot
not
long,
fully recovered
and there were
yet,
patterns
and
of
it needed
phoenix
time
tails
to recover.
engraved on the surface.
With the phoenix
The
plume
astonishing
fruit, it would not
spiritual
have to
energy
worry about that
fluctuations
anymore.
caused the
Plus,
origin energy
the phoenix
here to be
plume
much
fruit
denser.
could make its body
It was
even
a good
stronger,
place to meditate
and it could also
and
nourish
cultivate
its chi and blood.
One phoenix
So
plume
big,
fruit is
I guess it
equivalent
can
to
barely fit in a
1,000 years
mid-rank
of maturity.
storage ring.
There
I
are
still
12
need a
phoenix
top
plume
rank
storage
fruits here,
ring, which means they are at least
when I have more
12,000
things
years
in the
old.
future,
Seeing
I won't
the
have
phoenix
anywhere
plume
to put
tree
them.
and the phoenix
Although
plume
a
fruit,
storage ring could be put into a storage
heaved a sigh
ring,
of relief.
a low-rank storage
Woo,
ring
woo,
had
woo.
too little
The
space
dream-eating
and could
wolf
not hold
wagged
too
its
big of
tail.
a thing.
Although
Even
it was
if you
its
had
first time
10,000
seeing
of
the
them,
phoenix
they
plume
would only
fruit,
be able to
the smell
hold
it
soul
emitted made it
stones.
feel very
If I had a
comfortable.
top-rank storage ring, all of these problems would be solved, since the storage space of a top-rank storage ring was 10 times bigger than a mid-rank one. Yi Chen had dozens of mid-rank storage rings, and they were all taken from his enemies. Of course, they were all dead. However, he had never seen a top-rank storage ring before. It seemed that a storage ring with such a huge space was extremely rare, and could not be bought even with soul stones. Putting away the phoenix plume tree, Yi Chen put the dream-eating wolf back into the beast tag, and let it recover slowly. Once it recovered, he would give it the wind fire pellet. Now, I only need the skull flower. Yi Chen let out a long breath. Yeah. Murong Qingcheng nodded, her face full of hope. The barbarian race has a strong culture of martial arts. The best weapons for the barbarian warriors are spears and bows. Normally, they would put poison on the tips of the spears and arrowheads, which could kill with one attack. Maybe we can find the skull flower in the barbarian mountains. The skeleton flower was different from other herbs. It was a type of extremely poisonous herb. The higher the age, the more poisonous it was. A 10,000-year-old skeleton flower was second only to the world's most poisonous herb. However, a 10,000-year-old skeleton flower was not easy to find. They only needed a 5,000-year-old skeleton flower. Leaving the mountain, the two flew towards the nearest barbarian tribe. This should be the poisonous mountain where this barbarian tribe grows the poisonous plants. On the edge of a mountain with colorful miasma, a man and a woman appeared quietly. They were indeed Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng, who were looking for the skull flower. There were big and small barbarian tribes. The big ones had millions of people, while the small ones only had tens of thousands of people. The tribe that the two had chosen was a tribe with 200,000 people. According to the map, it was called the Iron Flower Tribe. Barbarian warriors liked to coat their weapons with poison, but that didn't mean they weren't afraid of it. Not to mention, it wasn't just a matter of one or two poisonous plants. It required thousands of poisonous plants. Obviously, it was very dangerous to cultivate poisonous plants in the tribe. Therefore, the barbarian tribes would usually choose a mountain nearby and cultivate poisonous plants there. Because of the poisonous plants gathering together, the poisonous gas would fill the air and create an extremely poisonous miasma, which would become a natural barrier. Ordinary demonic beasts wouldn't dare to come close. Of course, there would be a lot of barbarian warriors guarding around the mountain. Even if they were not afraid of the poison, it would not be easy to sneak in. Not far away from the two, there was a group of barbarian warriors patrolling. The highest cultivation is only at the astral reaching realm, and the rest are all clasping Yuan realm warriors. In case of alerting them, we should be careful. Of course, they could take it by force, but it would not last long. Plus, the barbarians did not have any conflicts with them, so they did not want to have any conflicts with the Iron Flower tribe. Let's go. The colorful miasma could not penetrate the protective Jinyuan of Sea of Souls realm warriors, so the two sneaked into the miasma and arrived at the building on top of the mountain, which was covered in a light layer. There were still barbarian warriors patrolling inside. Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng could even sense a couple of Sea of Souls realm Jinyuan vibrations on top of a tower in the middle of the building. Not here. Not here either. Let's go check the other side. Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng were very good at hiding, so they were not discovered by the Sea of Souls realm warriors in the building. Occasionally, there would be soul power scanning over, but it would be sensed by Yi Chen beforehand. He would then use Murong Qingcheng's dark profound to hide from them. After a couple of hours, Yi Chen, over here. Murong Qingcheng found the skull flowers in the middle of the mountain. It was a huge area, and with a rough look, there were at least thousands of them. Black poisonous qi was being emitted from the flowers, which gathered in the air and formed into a huge skull. Yi Chen had also arrived. Let's search and see if there are any 5,000 years old ones. After the time it took to brew a pot of tea, the two were full of disappointment. Among the thousands of skull flowers, there were only 30,000 years old ones. There was not even one 2,000 years old, not to mention 5,000 years old ones. After plucking more than 20 skeleton flowers that were more than 1,000 years old, the two of them left the poison mountain quietly and arrived outside the multicolored miasma. Far away from the Iron Flower tribe, Yi Chen studied the skull flowers in his hand and said, "The Iron Flower tribe is a small tribe. Right now, we will have to go check out some of the mid-sized tribes. Since there were skull flowers in the Iron Flower tribe, then the other tribes must have some as well. The only question would be if there were any skull flowers above 5,000 years old." On the third day, the two arrived at the Bronze Tiger tribe. The population of the Bronze Tiger tribe was 3 times that of the Iron Flower tribe, which was 700,000 to 800,000 people. The poison mountain near the tribe was also bigger than the Iron Flower tribes. There were thousands of barbarian warriors guarding around the poison mountain, each of them holding long spears and carrying huge bows on their backs, looking extremely evil. Inside the poison mountain, 2 shadows were moving around sneakily. There are no 5,000 years old skull flowers. The oldest one is only 2,800 years old. Do I really have to go to those big tribes? Yi Chen was very scared of the big tribes. In this true spirit continent, the number of barbarians was way smaller than the human population, which was only 1 out of 10,000 of the human population. In other words, all of the barbarians added together would only be a few 100 million or a billion. However, although there were not many of them, the chance of them having powerful warriors was thousands of times higher than the human population. So, there might be a chance of life and death realm warriors in the big tribes. There are hundreds of big tribes, so it would be impossible for every tribe to have a barbarian king. I heard that there would not be a lot of barbarian kings added together, which would be way less than the human population. The chance of running into a barbarian king should not be that high, maybe 1%. The skull flower was something that they had to get, so Yi Chen would not give up on it. Let's go. Let's go to the big tribes. Yi Chen turned around and said to Murong Qingcheng. Chapter 623. The Battle Halberd tribe was one of the big tribes among the barbarian tribes. It had a population of 2,800,000, and its territory was more than 300,000 miles, just like a barbarian country. The Battle Halberd tribe did not have just one gathering place. Just like how human countries were divided into many cities, the Battle Halberd tribe was also divided into more than 10 towns. In the middle of these towns was the main city of the Battle Halberd tribe, called the Battle Halberd City. And the poison mountain of the Battle Halberd tribe was right next to the Battle Halberd City. Around the poison mountain, there were a shocking number of barbarians patrolling. Every 1,000 meters, there was a row of watchtowers, and every 5,000 meters, there was a huge fortress. There were also some flying beasts that the barbarians were raising, flying around in the sky, giving people a feeling that they had nowhere to attack. Not far from them, under the shadow of a rock mountain, 2 black shadows were faintly discernible, combining with the shadow. There are too many barbarian warriors, and there are so many flying beasts in the sky. There are also some hidden defenses that we don't know about. Yi Chen frowned. Facing this kind of situation, he almost had no idea what to do. After all, he could not use his soul power to check around. Even if he did, he might not be able to enter the poison mountain within a second without being noticed. Let's go to other places to check. Murong Qingcheng suggested. They went to a few places, and they were all equally well guarded. Some of them were even several times more tightly guarded. Obviously, they were important places. No rush. Let's talk about it at night. At night, Yi Chen's shadow profound could be used to its limit, and so could Murong Qingqing's dark profound. With the cover of the night, it should not be a problem for them to enter the Poison Mountain. The night came, and a waning moon rose up slowly. From time to time, there were lotus clouds blocking the moonlight, making the whole place pitch black. Let's go. The second the waning moon was covered by the lotus clouds, Yi Chen's body moved like a shadow, flying close to the ground without making any sound. Murong Qingqing spread her wings and flew high up. Under the effect of her dark profound, she had merged with the night sky, making no sound at all. Without raising any alarm, the two smoothly passed through the poisonous gas and entered the Poison Mountain. The Poison Mountain was huge, and there were many of them. There were some poisonous beasts and beasts in the mountain, but there were not many of them, and their ranks were not that high either. Late at night, the two of them finally found the location of the skeleton flower. So many skeleton flowers. In a valley that was neither too big nor too small, skull flowers grew densely. It was impossible to count them all. Above the valley, illusory skulls appeared very strange. 3,800 years. 4,500 years. 4,900 years. 5,500 years. There really is a skeleton flower that is over 5,000 years old. Yi Chen looked around and immediately discovered a relatively large skeleton flower. The black aura that this flower emitted was as dense as water. If it was daytime, it would definitely look like spilled ink. I also have a 6,000-year-old skeleton flower here. Murong Qingqing transmitted her voiceover. Yi Chen replied, pick a few more, just in case. Pop. The two had only picked a couple of skeleton flowers when a couple of the illusory skulls floating above the valley suddenly disappeared. It turned out that these skulls were formed by the poisonous qi, and the skeleton flowers were the source of the poisonous qi. Now that a couple of the most mature ones had been taken away, it caused a change immediately. Screech. On a tall mountain far away, a beast bird with sharp eyes saw the change in the valley and screeched into the sky. The sound was very penetrating. Not good. Let's go. Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing rushed out of the valley. Their bodies flashed once as they shot out, activating their shadow profound and dark profound respectively to hide their aura. Who is it? There was a building in the Poison Mountain, and a huge group of barbarians flew out of it. The leader was obviously a peak-level late Sea of Soul's Realm barbarian, and his Jin Yuan vibration was very powerful. Soon, a huge soul power spread out toward the direction where Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing were flying. Obviously, although Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing had powerful profound, they could not escape from the senses of a peak-level late Sea of Soul's Realm barbarian, who was able to detect the two immediately. Some humans have broken in. Seal them up immediately. The Poison Mountain was only 100 miles wide, which was more than enough for growing poisonous plants. But, for Sea of Soul's Realm warriors, one scan would be able to cover 100 miles. This barbarian spread out his soul power and talked to the nearest Sea of Soul's Realm barbarian. You are looking for death. Humans dare to break into our Poison Mountain? The Sea of Soul's Realm barbarians outside were furious. They all rushed toward the designated location, blocking the path that Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing were trying to break through. Woo! Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing rushed out of the poisonous miasma, but what greeted them were countless sharp arrows that shone with a cold light or solidified spear lights. Darkness sky. Murong Qingqing put up a black shield, blocking out the sharp arrows and spear lights. Fly into the sky. Yi Chen held Murong Qingqing's hand, flying toward the clouds above the Poison Mountain. They were fast like a rainbow, leaving a light trace under the moonlight. How could the Sea of Soul's Realm barbarians let them go so easily? They pushed their Jin Yuan and chased after them. Gradually, most of the weaker Sea of Soul's Realm barbarians had been left behind, so they had to give up. Only one barbarian with the highest cultivation was left, which was indeed horrifying. Although he was only at peak-level late Sea of Soul's Realm, his Jin Yuan was way more powerful than normal peak-level late Sea of Soul's Realm warriors. He seemed to be accumulating Jin Yuan to prepare for the life and death realm. Barbarian King Palm Print. The barbarian realized that he couldn't catch up with Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng in a short time. So, he pressed his huge fan-like palm in the air, and a thick and hazy illusory palm print emerged, rushing towards the two. All of a sudden, the wind blew, the clouds rolled, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. The air rippled like water, pushing the two sides. So powerful. I am afraid he is not that far away from the half-step barbarian king realm. The life and death realm was not that easy to reach, and countless people had been stuck at this bottleneck. But, some of the more determined people could reach the half-step king warrior level after decades or even hundreds of years of training. Although half-step king warriors were not as powerful as life and death realm warriors, they were still way more powerful than master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors. For example, Sun Tai, the leader of the Southern Shallow Water Ape race, was a half-step beast king, and his power was immeasurable. Right now, Yi Chen could not compete with half-step barbarian king warriors, even if it were the top 5 young warriors. Thunder Devour. Turning around suddenly, Yi Chen crossed his two swords in front of him, and the thunder ball landed on that illusory palm print. Boom! The blast wave swept across the sky, and Yi Chen's whole body was blown away. His speed had increased by more than 2 times, but he reacted extremely fast, grabbing onto Murong Qingcheng and bringing her along with him. Using the momentum, they managed to get away from that barbarian who was chasing after them. Cunning human. An angry expression flashed past the barbarian's face. Barbarian King roar. Like a whale sucking in water, the barbarian sucked in the air and clouds within thousands of meters around him. Then, his eyes popped out as he opened his mouth to let out a shocking sound wave. It contained his Zhen Yuan that was close to the life and death realm. Once it was let out, the whole sky turned bright white. Boom! The next second, a doomsday-like explosion was heard. The sound wave spread out at hundreds of times faster than the speed of sound, covering Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng immediately. Pooh! The two puked out a mouthful of blood. The sound wave was like a high-frequency vibration machine, which had shaken their bodies thousands of times within a second. If it were not for Yi Chen's rank 3 spirit body and dragon power, and Murong Qingcheng's rank 2 demon body, that roar would have wounded them badly and made them lose their battling power. The high-frequency vibration had also stopped the two's Zhen Yuan from operating, and their speed had decreased drastically. It seemed like they were about to be caught up. Dream-eating wolf, come out. Yi Chen was about to summon the dream-eating wolf and have a great battle with the barbarian. As long as the barbarian's willpower had not reached rank 5, the dream-eating wolf might be able to make him enter the dreamland. Therefore, it was still uncertain who would have the upper hand. Plus, besides his own power and the dream-eating wolf, he still had another ace up his sleeve. Unless it was a life-and-death situation, he would not use it. Yi Chen, I have a way to escape. Murong Qingcheng grabbed Yi Chen's hand, which was about to hit the beast tag. You have a way. Yi Chen looked over. Yeah. Murong Qingcheng nodded, then grabbed Yi Chen's hand and held it tightly. Boom. The black bat wings on Murong Qingcheng's back started to flap violently. At the same time, a shockingly powerful demon power spread out, blowing away all the air in the sky. This demon power was way beyond the Sea of Souls realm, and seemed to be at the life and death realm. Demon power essence. Yi Chen immediately realized that this demon power vibration belonged to that ancient demon king's demon power essence. It seemed like Murong Qingcheng had not refined all of it, only a part of it. But then again, it made sense. The demon power essence of the ancient demon king was extremely powerful, and with Murong Qingcheng's cultivation, she would not be able to refine it all. Hey! The barbarian, who was not far away from the two, looked shocked. He could feel that this vibration was a huge threat to him. There must be something strange going on. But, it is not enough to scare me. The barbarian reached out his palm and performed his barbarian king palm print again. This time, the barbarian king palm print missed its target, because Murong Qingcheng and Yi Chen disappeared from where they were standing like shadows. Within a blink of an eye, they were already hundreds of miles away. Then, they flashed again, and even his soul power could not sense them anymore. How is this possible? This speed has almost reached the limit of the space. The barbarian's eyes were wide open, his face full of disbelief. The space of this true spirit continent had a limit. Once one's speed reached a certain level, it would not be able to increase anymore. But of course, it was not impossible, because once one's speed exceeded the limit of the space, one would be able to escape into the surreal space, where one's speed would not be restricted. It was also why life and death realm warriors would travel in the surreal space, since it was not something they wanted to do. Never mind, there are no treasures in this poison mountain, only some poisonous plants. Even if I lose some of the important ones, it will not hurt me at all. Shaking his head, the barbarian flew back the way he came. 500 miles away, a huge black light poured out, and Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng jumped out. Murong Qingcheng's face was very pale. With her power right now, she still could not control the demon power essence. Even using a bit of it would be a huge burden. Chapter 624. The rest of the demon power essence should be used as little as possible. The demon Yuan Qi in this land is very rare. If you want to increase your cultivation quickly, you will have to rely on the demon power essence. Yi Chen saw that Murong Qingcheng was fine, so he said. Murong Qingcheng nodded. This land was a human land. Not to mention the demon Yuan Qi, even some of the demon element medicines were very rare. Therefore, it would be hard to increase her cultivation with external items, hurry up and refine the antidote. Not last long.
Murong
Qingcheng
with the
pushed
demon power
Murong
essence.
She could at least increase her cultivation
I will go
to peak
now.
level late seas
Making
of
the
Soul's
antidote
realm.
for the shadowless
1 year
poison
has
was
not
not
hard for Murong
Let's go back
to the south
since the
Rudra
shadowless
region,
poison was
other
created
than the
by the
ant
demi-king
king
grass
family
in
all the
the
other
early days.
ingredients had been
The
found.
recipe and
The
method
ant
of
king
making the
grass could
antidote
also be
had been
replaced
passed
by the
down.
blackened grass.
During this period of
If
time,
nothing went
Murong
wrong,
Jishue
it should be
had
possible.
practiced countless
After
times
all,
in his head,
the ant
trying
king
to make
grass
sure
was
that
not the
nothing
main
went wrong.
ingredient for the shadowless
Once Murong
poison.
Jishue
It
left,
was just a
there were only
supplementary
Yi Chen
ingredient.
and Murong Qingcheng
Taking
in the
out
living
the
room.
flying puppet,
I have not
the
seen
two
the
sat on
scenery
it
here
and flew
yet.
toward the south.
Take me around.
After 1 month,
Yi Chen chuckled.
Murong family in
It
the
was
South
time for
Rudra
him
region.
to relax a bit.
What? In the
You
next
have
couple
found
of days,
all the materials
Murong
for the
Jishue
antidote.
tried his best to
Murong
make the
Jishue
antidote
was
for the
very
shadowless
surprised.
poison.
In
He
fact,
shut himself in
he
the
had
house,
not been idle
while
during
Murong
this half a
Qingcheng
year
brought Yi
either.
Chen to
He had
travel around
used
the
all of
Murong
his family's
family.
power
A
to
lot of
search for the
people from the
materials,
Murong family
even spending
had
a
seen the
huge
two
amount
of them
spirit
walking
stones
around
to
hand in
find
hand.
information.
It
In
seems
his
like
eyes,
warrior Yi
Su
Chen
Ruhui
will be the
and
future
Murong
son-in-law
Qingcheng
of
were
our
his
Murong
everything.
family.
Nothing
Miss
was more
is a
important
famous
than
beauty.
them.
What he
Warrior
did not
Yi is so
expect was
lucky.
that within
You
half a
can't
year,
say that.
the two had already
Right now,
found all the
Warrior Yi
materials.
is famous in
Even
the
with
Sky
all of
Marshal
his
region,
family's power,
second
he
only
had
to
only
the top
managed to
5 young
find less
warriors.
than 1/10
Only
of the
he
materials.
is good enough for Miss, that's
Murong
true.
Qingcheng said,
On this
"It is
day,
all Yi Chen's
Yi Chen
credit.
suggested,
When I
have
went
been
to the
back
Sky
for a few
Marshal
days.
region to find
I
him,
want to go
he
see
had
my
already
parents.
found most of the
Do
materials.
you want to come?
Murong
Yes.
Jishue looked
Murong
at Yi Chen
Qingcheng
gratefully.
thought that it was
Thank
also
you.
time for
It
her
seems
to meet
like
Yi
it was the
Chen's
right
parents.
decision to let you
Windy
take
Nation.
care of Qingcheng.
In the living
You
room
are a
of the Yi
responsible
family,
person.
Yi
Chen
Chen
and
did not know
Yuqing
what
were
to
sitting
say.
in the main
A
seats,
blush
while
appeared
Yi
on
Chen
Murong
and
Qingcheng's
Qingcheng
face.
were sitting in the
Uncle,
lower seats.
here are all the
Miss
materials.
Qingcheng,
This
Yi
time,
Chen took
you
out a
must stay
low-rank
for a
storage
few more
ring and
days.
handed it over
I
to
want to
Murong
chat with
Jishue,
you.
which
Shen
contained all
Yuqing
of the
said to
ingredients for
Murong
the
Qingcheng
antidote
gently.
But we did not find the ant
Qingcheng
king
was a
plant,
bit flattered.
only a couple of
Her
blackened
face
plants.
without the black
I
veil
wonder
was
if
glowing.
they could be used
Auntie,
as a
you
replacement.
can just call me Qingcheng.
Murong Jishue
As long as
smiled
you
and
don't
said,
mind me,
I don't know
I
if I
don't
can
care
replace
how many
it,
days I
but it
stay
doesn't
here.
matter.
Hee
I have a
hee.
lot of
Why
ant
would
king
I mind
grass
you?
here.
He
Shen
had bought
Yuqing
it
laughed.
at an auction.
There are not many
That's
girls as
good.
beautiful as
Yi
you.
Chen and
Seeing
Murong
Murong
Qingcheng's
Qingcheng's
real
sigh of
face.
relief.
Yi Chen
Now that
and
everything was
Shen Yuqing
ready,
were both shocked.
all that was left
What
was
kind
the
of
east
spirit
wind.
chi would it
All
take
right,
to give
I
birth
will
to
make
such
the
a beautiful
antidote
face?
for the shadowless poison.
Both of them were very
You guys
happy
find
that
a
Yi
place
Chen
to
had
rest.
brought back such a
Qingcheng,
beautiful wife.
I'll leave Yi Chen
After
to
all,
you.
their
Now
son
that
was
he
a
had all
dragon
the
among
materials,
men, and was not
Murong
something
Jishue
normal
was in a
people
much
could
better
compete
mood,
with.
and his
Even
face
those
glowed
normal
with
rich
glory.
people could have 3 wives and 4 concubines, and all of them were beautiful like flowers. How could their son fall behind? Right then, Yi Tianhao winked at Shen Yuqing. Shen Yuqing seemed to have thought of something. He took out a jade pendant with a purple glow and innate cloud patterns from his storage ring. He walked down and handed it to Murong Qingcheng. Qingcheng, this innate magic cloud jade is our Yi family's heirloom. I will give it to you now. Thank you, Auntie. Murong Qingcheng happily accepted it. Dad, Mom, where is Big Brother? Happy footsteps were heard. 2 kids around 7 or 8 years old ran in. It was Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao. 2 little guys. Shen Yuqing smiled helplessly. These little guys couldn't stay still. They had been running around the Yi family and playing with the other kids. They must have heard that Yi Chen had come back. Yi Chen held his brother and sister in each hand and joked, much heavier. Yi Xian said, "Big brother, other people's brothers and sisters come back often. Why don't you come back often?" "Yeah." Yi Xiaoxiao stared at Yi Chen with her eyes wide open. Yi Chen said, "You will know when you grow up." "Grow up? We are already grown up." Yi Tianhao joked, "You are still bothering your big brother when you are grown up." Hearing this, Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao made a face. On the side, Murong Qingcheng laughed. Kids were indeed fun. She wondered what Yi Chen was like when he was a kid. Seeing his happy family, Yi Chen was very satisfied. In this world, he already had a happy family. All that was left was to become stronger and explore the mysteries of the universe. Plus, only by becoming stronger could he protect his family and the people around him. The Yi family in the Misty Mountain was huge. Beside the sparkling lake, Yi Chen was training with his sword. Beams of golden light flowed along the surface of his body, jumping onto the normal longsword and waving it around. The taste is not right. It should be more natural. It is too aggressive. It has ruined the harmony of the gold pattern. Training again and again, Yi Chen's understanding deepened again and again. In a pavilion hundreds of meters away, Murong Qingcheng and Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao were together, watching Yi Chen train with his sword. "Big brother is so hard-working. I want to be like him in the future." Yi Xian clenched his small fists. Murong Qingcheng said, "You can start working hard when you are 10. Yi Chen's hard work indeed made her sigh. When she first met him, he was just a martial genius who was not that powerful. But, every time they met, she could see his improvement, and his fame was getting bigger and bigger. From the South Rudra region to the Southern region, and then from the Southern region to the Sky Martial region, he was always shining brightly. Shoo, shoo. The sound of air being torn apart was heard as the sword light spread out. "I need to have the softness of water and the sharpness of metal. The two complement each other. Only then will it be complete." But, it is not that easy. Putting away his sword, Yi Chen slowly let out a breath. "Let's go. I will take you guys out to play." Since he could not make a breakthrough, Yi Chen did not force himself. In terms of comprehension, it was impossible to force it. It was all about the flow of water and the flow of water. Flying over the Yi family, Yi Chen made a slight noise. His body twisted and landed back in the Yi family. However, it was not his yard, but a side branch disciple's yard. Inside the yard, this side branch disciple was also training his sword art. His sword was a soft sword, so the sword art he trained leaned towards the gentle water element. Sword light danced in the yard, the gentle sword light like the moonlight mirage in the water, gathering and dispersing, making people feel intoxicated. Soft sword, gentle, sword light. As a master level C of Soul's Realm warrior, Yi Chen did not attract the other's attention at all. Instead, he seemed to be in a trance as he stared at the other's sword art. Murong Qingcheng landed with Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao, using Zhen Yuan to isolate an area. She knew that Yi Chen was comprehending something and could not be disturbed. After finishing a set of sword art, this side branch disciple wiped off his sweat and was about to put away his sword when he suddenly sensed someone training beside him. When he realized that it was Yi Chen, he immediately held his breath, not daring to make any movements. Who was Yi Chen? He was a legendary figure in the South Rudra region and even the whole southern region, a genius sword artist, and the pride of the Yi family. Even if he was more excited, he knew that he could not disturb Yi Chen. Soft sword is soft, like water. But, no matter how soft it is still a sword, sharp beyond compare. Yes, this is the feeling. Yi Chen sank into the training of the gold pattern as if he was possessed. Gradually, a golden pattern spread out in the yard. It was not sword light, nor was it sword qi. Instead, it was formed by Yi Chen's qi, which was very magical. As the golden pattern became more and more numerous, it became softer and softer, and its destructive power started to show. Soon, everything in the yard was turned into dust. At the critical moment, Murong Qingcheng pushed out her Zhen Yuan to protect this side branch disciple.
Go. After an unknown period of time, Yi Chen waved out his sword, and the golden pattern spread out. Not to mention this side-branch disciple, even Murong Qingcheng thought that it was the real water pattern, but it was gold in color. Facing this attack, there was no way to block it, and one could only defend passively. As for whether one could block it or not, it would be another story. Swoosh. There was a small green water in the yard, and under Yi Chen's sword attack, it was immediately split open. The most surprising thing was that after the green water was split open, it did not close up, as if it had always been like this. Moreover, the cut surface was so soft that it did not look like it had been split open by a sharp weapon. Finally completed, Yi Chen stopped training. Turning around, Yi Chen saw the disciples of the side branch of the Yi family whose faces were all red. "What is your name?" Yi Chen asked. "Yi. Yi Xiaoshui." Yi Chen revealed a smile and said, "Your sword art is not bad." For him to be able to complete the gold pattern, it was all thanks to him. Of course, it was also because he was training with a soft sword. If it were another sword, he would not have been able to comprehend it. Chapter 625. Being complimented by Yi Chen, Yi Xiaoshui was extremely excited. Although Yi Chen was about the same age as him, there was a huge gap between them. One was a Seas of Souls realm warrior, while the other was only an early clasping Yuan realm warrior. One was famous throughout the whole True Spirit continent, while the other was not even that famous in the Windy Nation. Being complimented by Yi Chen was undoubtedly something that many of the new warriors had been dreaming about. "This Sky Water Sword spell is for you. If you can master it, very few warriors under the late clasping Yuan realm would be able to compete with you." Taking out a book with a blue cover, Yi Chen handed it over to Yi Xiaoshui. "Sky Water Sword spell. For me." Yi Xiaoshui knew that it was something special once he heard the name, so he took over the book excitedly. "All right, I won't disturb your rest anymore." After giving the book to Yi Xiaoshui, Yi Chen left the Yi family with Murong Qingcheng, Yi Xian, and Yi Xiaoxiao. Meanwhile, Yi Xiaoshui still felt like he was dreaming, watching Yi Chen's back as he walked away. Only when Yi Chen and the other three disappeared from his sight did he come back to his senses. "First Sky True Water Sword Art, I wonder what grade it is." Yi Xiaoshui opened the cover and read, "Sky Water Sword Spell, High Rank Earth Realm Sword Art." There are 16 movements in total, and the last movement is powerful enough to compete with top rank Earth Realm Sword movements. It is actually a high rank Earth Realm Sword Art, and it is one of the top ones. Normally, if the last movement could be one rank higher, it meant that this sword art would be the top one among all the other sword arts of the same rank. Although there were a lot of secret manuals in the Yi family, including many secret manuals of sword arts, his talent was not top-notch. At most, he could learn low-rank Earth Realm sword arts. If he could have a mid-rank Earth Realm sword art, he would be satisfied. As for high-rank Earth Realm sword arts, it was something he could only dream of. He did not expect that at this moment, he would actually have a high-rank Earth Realm sword art in his hands. He was so excited that he could not speak. In fact, he did not know that if it were not for his talent and comprehensive ability, Yi Chen was planning to give him a top-rank Earth Realm sword art. For Yi Chen, top-rank Earth Realm martial arts were not that precious anyway, so it was normal for him to give one out once in a while. After all, it was because of him that Yi Chen was able to train his gold pattern to completion, which was not something that a top-rank Earth Realm martial art could compare with. However, it also depended on the target. If he gave a top-rank Earth Realm sword art to Yi Chen, who knew when he would be able to learn it? What Yi Chen did not know was that his small action today had brought another famous sword artist to the Yi family. How about we all look at it together? I have not even seen it yet. Why should I contribute it to everyone? Wait until you get it, then we can discuss it together. I will look at it myself first. Fuck, that's so disloyal. Even though they said that, the people who were talking were already trying their best to squeeze in. They were so anxious that they could not wait to get their hands on the ranking. Everyone, don't worry. There are so many of them. Everyone has one. 10 low-rank soul stones for one. The manager of the pavilion chuckled. No matter how many people there would be a time when they could get their hands on the ranking. After half an hour, the pavilion finally quieted down. The people coming in and out were not that scary anymore. Of course, it was not that quiet either. Every once in a while, there would be a lot of people coming to buy the ranking. It was just that it was not as crowded as before. In the restaurant, in the tea house, almost every place with a lot of people was talking about the ranking. Look, Yi Chen has made it into the ranking as well. Where is it? Let me see. Ranked 48. At the same time, all of the big cities in the South Rudra region had reached a boiling point. Shopkeeper, give me a copy of the Grandmaster list. Li Daoxian arrived at the pavilion. All right, here you go. The manager took out a brand new ranking book. The words were golden, and the cover was made of leather, which would be hard to destroy. Paying 10 low-rank soul stones, Li Daoxian walked out. Inside a tea house, Li Daoxian stared at the 48th name. There was only one word written on it, Yi Chen. Below it were all about Yi Chen's achievements. In other cities, Yang Qihua, Bing Ling, and the rest of the young martial geniuses from the same generation as Yi Chen had all gone to buy the ranking. Without any surprise, they saw Yi Chen's name. It was not low at all, being 48th. In the whole South region, there were only 4 people in the ranking, and Yi Chen was the only one in the South Rudra region. Among the 4, Yi Chen had the highest rank, and was also the youngest. The second youngest was already 80 years old, and the remaining 2 were both over 100 years old. Some were even close to 200 years old. Most importantly, among the 72 people in the ranking, there were only 6 who were under 30 years old. It was not hard to imagine how powerful the 48th rank was. Chapter 626. Murong Qingcheng stayed at the Yi family for a week before going back to the Murong family. Inside the elegant yard, Yi Chen was drinking tea and reading a book in the pavilion in the middle of the lake, enjoying the lake breeze. The book was the master-level warrior ranking, and the tea was one of the most famous ones. Xie Beiting is ranked 5th. With his status in the martial world, as well as the title of the #1 blade artist, he deserves to be ranked 5th. But, I did not expect these 4 old monsters to be this powerful. They are all top martial geniuses of their generation. Although they have not reached the life and death realm yet, they should not be underestimated either. Perhaps they are already half-step king warriors. Every generation, there would be a lot of martial geniuses who could not reach the life and death realm, since according to the rules of the past, there would only be 10 king warriors every 100 years. On average, there would be 1 every 10 years. No matter how powerful the others were in their generation, they would never be able to reach the life and death realm. As for half-step king realm, it was not easy to become one either. If one could not become a half-step king within 100 years, then under normal circumstances, it would be impossible to become one for the rest of one's life. Only if one could obtain a rare supreme grade treasure could one have the hope of improving one's constitution and continuing to progress. These 4 old monsters could only be half-step kings, but it was not certain. After all, their ages were all 100 or 200 years old, and some were even older. Who knew if they had become half-step kings before the age of 100? Just like those barbarians who were chasing after Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng, they were only close to half-step king warrior level, but not yet. 7th, Bai Wuxue. 8th, Lu Xiaoyu. 13th, Xia Hozuan. 18th, Xiao Chuhe. 25th, Godly Shark Princess. Next, Yi Chen saw the ranking of the top 5 young warriors. The top 5 young warriors were all ranked very high. Among them, Bai Wuxue was ranked the highest. He was actually close to Xie Beiting, being ranked 7th. Lu Xiaoyu was ranked 8th, followed by Xia Hozuan, who was ranked 13th, and Xiao Chuhe, who was ranked 18th. As for the Godly Shark Princess, she was ranked the last among the 5, ranked 25th. It seemed like not fighting for a long time would affect her ranking as well. Bai Wuxue's battle with Xia Hozuan had made him the leader of the top 5 young warriors. However, Yi Chen did not think that the ranking was that accurate. The ranking was only a reference. If one were to take it too seriously, one would suffer a huge loss sooner or later. If one was unlucky, one might even lose their head. For example, if one's rank was higher than the opponent's and thought that he could beat the opponent, then he would be beaten. Of course, in Yi Chen's opinion, among the top 5 young warriors, besides the godly shark princess, the ranking of the other 4 would be quite accurate. Bai Wushue's power was indeed immeasurable. Although he had only barely won against Xia Hozuan, that star nuclear finger attack of Xia Hozuan's was very powerful. Bai Wushue had won under the situation where he was being suppressed. No matter his battling power or battling experience, they were both immeasurable. It would not be an exaggeration to rank him first, and the others would not have any doubts about it either. And the reason why the Swordmaster was ranked before Xia Hozuan was because of his identity as a sword artist. Sword artists were very hard to counter. Xia Hozuan could use his star nuclear finger art to counter Bai Wushue, but he would not be able to counter Lu Xiaoyu, who was the Swordmaster. After all, sword artists were usually good at attacking, and they rarely used it on defense. Therefore, once Lu Xiaoyu and Xia Hozuan battled, they would only be attacking each other, and the star nuclear finger art would not be able to lock onto the latter. But why was Lu Xiaoyu still ranked below Bai Wushue? The reason was simple. Bai Wushue was able to beat Lu Xiaoyu when he was being suppressed. Then, it would be even easier for him to fight against Lu Xiaoyu, who was good at attacking. After the battle at the Nine-Dragon Lake, everyone knew about Bai Wushue's defensive power. As for Xiao Chuhe, Yi Chen could not really comment on it either. This guy's movements were very simple, and each of his attacks were all ace attacks. Facing him, it would be very hard to decide the winner quickly. But it was also because of this that his style was more average than the other 4. He was more stable, but not aggressive enough. As for the godly shark princess, Yi Chen had never seen her before, so he would not try to guess. Besides the top 5 young warriors, the top 25 warriors were all above 60 years old, while the oldest was almost 250 years old. There would definitely be master-level warriors above the age of 250 who would be able to make it into the ranking. But, after 250 years old, there would still be a few warriors who cared too much about fame and fortune. Their only wish was to reach the life and death realm while they were still alive. Otherwise, they would be dead for sure in a few decades. Plus, the first page of the ranking had also mentioned that people who were over 250 years old would not be able to make it into the ranking. The pavilion did not want to make this ranking, which would put these old warriors in a difficult situation, since it would not go with the purpose of making the ranking. A. Baghdad, the headmaster of the Bronze Tiger tribe, ranked 10th. Inadvertently, Yi Chen saw a familiar name. It was the Bronze Tiger tribe. According to the introduction, this Baghdad was the headmaster of the Bronze Tiger tribe. He was 180 years old, and his power was close to half-step king warrior level. Could it be that barbarian who was chasing after me and Murong? If it is him, then he would indeed be in the top 10. I did not expect the information of the pavilion to be this powerful. Even the master-level barbarian warriors are on there. If it were not for Murong forcefully pushing her demon power essence, it would be very hard for the two to leave. Plus, with the addition of Dream-Eating Wolf, they would not have much confidence. One of the top 3 master-level blade artists, Lin Chaonan, ranked 19th. The former master-level blade artist, Shen Qianlang, ranked 28th. The leader of the floating snow palace, Snow Sword Master, ranked 39th. Soon, Yi Chen saw his own ranking, which was 48th. Besides the introduction of his personal achievements and battle records, there was also a special evaluation. The evaluation said, in the past 1,000 years, there have been 4 top martial geniuses. The first is Shenhu Yang Qingxian, who has learned about life and death as a girl. Her mysterious martial art is unparalleled in the world. Then, there is Dugu Ju Dantai Mingyu. The first 2 have been famous for a long time, and are the top 2 martial geniuses in the Sky Martial region. Only Yi Chen has risen up step by step from a small martial institution. His willpower, mentality, and determination are rare. Yi Chen smiled lightly. The pavilion had given him quite a high evaluation. But, it was just an evaluation after all, and no one else would know about him. Right after that, Yi Chen noticed that there was another person from the Dragon God Celestial Palace who was also in the Master-level warrior ranking. It was indeed the leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Zhong Zhengguang. Of course, Yi Chen did not think that the other 4 palace leaders would not be qualified to be in the ranking, since the Dragon God Celestial Palace was located in the East Shallow Ocean area, which was already out of the continent's range. Since the Yellow Dragon Palace was located in the East region, it would naturally be counted in the continent as well. There are too many powerful warriors, and none of them are easy to deal with. Glancing at the 4 big words on the title page, World Master, Yi Chen closed the book. On the 10th day after returning to the South Rudra region, Murongji Shirei had finally made the antidote for the shadowless poison. After swallowing it, the shadowless poison in Su Ruhui's body disappeared immediately. Not only that, the seal that Xianhu had left in her body had also helped her a lot, saving her the trouble of taking care of her body. Su Ruhui was safe and sound, which made Murongji Shirei and Murong Qingcheng extremely happy. Half a year of depression and fear had disappeared within a day. Murongji Shirei purposely threw a huge banquet for 3 days, and invited Yi Chen and Yi Chen's parents to come as well. With the parents of the 2 families together, they naturally had endless things to talk about. In the end, Murongji Shirei and Yi Tianhao got drunk, which was a rare occasion. The peaceful days passed by quickly, and another 3 months had passed in a blink of an eye. There was only half a year left before the battle between Yi Chen and Du Guju. During these 3 months, a lot of things had happened again, such as Chu Zhongtian finally reaching the Sea of Souls realm. Chu Zhongtian had the evil spirit body, and once he reached the Sea of Souls realm, he became terrifyingly powerful. He went to the Sky Martial region alone, beating a lot of young martial geniuses from the bottom to the top. In the end, he went to challenge Lin Tian, who had lost to Yi Chen before. After exchanging hundreds of attacks, he won. The battling power he had shown had scared a lot of martial geniuses in the Sky Martial region. A lot of people were discussing that Chu Zhongtian might be the next martial genius after the top 3 martial geniuses. However, different from the top 3, Chu Zhongtian's power was in his body. The evil spirit body was one of the rarest body types in history. What he trained was not Shen Yuan, but evil Yuan. When he was at the astral reaching realm, the evil Yuan's power was already horrifying enough. As Chu Zhongtian reached the Sea of Souls realm, his evil Yuan became even more powerful. In other words, every time he reached the next realm, Chu Zhongtian's advantage in terms of evil Yuan would increase. The others would need to use profound sense to increase their battling power, but Chu Zhongtian only needed to use his evil Yuan to cancel out the advantage. It was indeed a body type that people were jealous of. After beating Lin Tian, Chu Zhongtian did not arrogantly challenge the top 5 young warriors, since he knew that his cultivation was still too low. He was only at the early Sea of Souls realm, and because of his evil Yuan, normal pellets and spirit plants would not be able to help him reach the peak level from the early Sea of Souls realm. With Chu Zhongtian being so eye-catching, the martial institutions and families that he belonged to were naturally overjoyed. They started to search for special medicines all over the world, since they knew that whether or not their martial institutions and families would be able to reach the next level would depend on Chu Zhongtian. Compared to Chu Zhongtian, Jing Aoshuan and Li Xiaoyun, who used to be on par with Chu Zhongtian and were even slightly more powerful than him, seemed to be very dim. Of course, it was not their fault.